Give me a minute to speak my truth. Explore the river and you'll find truth. Which path you take is up to you. Just bring your vision to life. Oh, give me a minute to speak my truth. You are the river and the river is you. Which path you take is up to you. Just bring your vision to life. Oh, so let us bring.
Kia ora koutou and a welcome everybody to the 2021 Cooks Classic here at the historic Cooks Gardens in Wanganui. We've got a fantastic lineup of track and field action here in Wanganui and a fantastic lineup of commentators. So welcome to Zach Topping, who will be providing expert comments through the first part of this evening. I'm Hamish Meacham from Athletics New Zealand. Very happy that you can join us this evening. Also, later on in the commentary booth, we're going to have guest presenters John Bowden, 1986 Commonwealth Games reps, and Rod Dixon, Olympic medalist and New York Marathon winner. But right now, it's just Zach and I. And Zach, we're going to be starting off with some fantastic action in the field, highlighted by the women's hammer and the men's high jump.
Yeah, looking forward to that. I mean, we were watching those hammer throws go out in the warm-up, and now looking at stadium record, weren't we? So
yeah, of course, Lauren Bruce, the highlighted competitor in that women's hammer throw. The stadium record is about 65 metres, I believe, held by Bronwyn Eagles from Australia. And, of course, Lauren recently has had an automatic qualifier for the Olympics, gets the hammer out to about 73 metres, so that should be spectacular. And also, speaking of stadium records, we're really hopeful that the men's high jump is going to go quite well tonight.
Yeah, well, I've been looking forward to seeing Hamish jump for a while now. He's part of the Jumpy Boys crew in Christchurch. I'm a bit gutted to see that his number two, Marcus, isn't here, the Jumpy Boys crew.
Yes.
They seem to jump well together, and yeah, they've got their own page going, and we always it's nice to see them, progress.
It's a real emerging event for us here in New Zealand. So, of course, Hamish Kerr leading the way, Marcus Walton. Then we've got a couple of young up-and-comers, Quinn Hartley, Josh Inger, quite a few talented young guys. But it's Hamish here tonight. Also, the women's high jump field, very competitive. Keely O'Hagan, Josephine Reeves, and Josie Taylor. So that high jump, we're going to be switching action. And there she is. There's Lauren Bruce.
Yeah, looks like we're going to see some history made from Lauren today. I'm really excited to see that.
Yeah, very exciting. She's an exciting young athlete who's really burst onto the scene in 2020. Of course, huge strides now training under Dale Stevenson, that fantastic training group down in Christchurch featuring Tom Walsh, and now, of course, featuring Valerie Adams. So that's got to be one of the best throwing training groups in the world down there.
Yeah, very good.
And on the track, we're going to... there we see the field for the open women's hammer. Alexandra Maples, Lauren Bruce, Montoya, Whare Hinga, Sophie Andrews, and do you want to try that last name for me, Zach?
Oh, goodness. Tofafo Ta Philly?
Yeah, that's not bad, mate.
Pretty good, yeah.
You did better than me.
Well, thank you very much.
I often like to work my way into the pronunciation of the Māori and Pacifica names, but that one caught me off guard.
Interesting to see Lexi in this one. She's she jumps in a whole lot of different events.
Yeah, Lexi Maples, she was with Terry Lomax down in Christchurch from Wanganui originally, as I understand, and was very much kind of a multi-eventer, more of a specialist probably in the jumps. And now, having moved to Christchurch, she's transitioned over to that Dale Stevenson squad.
Yeah, interesting.
So she's specialising in the throws events now, and we think she's got a big future. For me personally, I think the Javelin's looking quite good for her, but she's doing all of the throws at the moment.
Yeah, wicked. She's she's got a really bubbly personality and always got a big smile on her face, so we'll see what she can do today.
And first hammer throws, got the red flag, unfortunately. We've already had some action in the 100 metres tonight, featuring Eddie Osei, Inkatia, Joseph Miller, and yourself. How did the hundreds go? Not just for yourself, but for Eddie and Joe.
Oh, I had a chat with them beforehand. They've all got things to work on. Just getting back into race form, that's what these league meets are for. They're really training for nationals and to be good at that event. So these league meets are used for them to get into race form and just learn how to race again. I think Joe is quite happy with his about mid-race, but thought he could do a bit better at the end there.
Yep.
Same with Eddie. He's quite happy with his mid-race. Thinks he can do a bit more at the end and a bit more at the start as well.
Yep. Now, the beat on Eddie is that, he races fast enough to win. But last week in Potts Classic, a bit of an upset, if you will, Tian Welpton from Canterbury taking the win. So it really sets us up for an exciting end to the summer with those two. And throw Joseph, don't sleep on Joseph Miller, personal best of 10.18. So if you had to lay some money on the line, you got Hamish Gill in the mix there as well. Who's your top three at nationals over 100 metres?
That's a really hard one. I mean, I saw Tian coming from a couple of years ago, and I knew he'd be right up there at some point. Joe and Eddie both just really, you can't take them out of any race. Mm-hmm. And right now, I'd say Tian because he's looking really good, looking in form. Right, Lauren's about to throw there.
Speaking of in form, here comes Lauren Bruce. Originally from Otago, but now...
Courtney Troe having a go at the high jump there.
Courtney Troe from Palmerston North Club. Great to have some local expertise here, and Zach Topping.
Oh, she jumped a PB at the Jumps to Music the other day, so she'll be looking to back that up.
So Lauren Bruce has gone in the circle, and now out of the circle. Mystery Machine. Not sure what's happening there, bit of a delay. We'll head over to the men's triple jump now. Young competitor from the local Wanganui club. Pretty good over those first two phases. Didn't quite nail the landing. And here goes Lauren Bruce heading into the circle.
Really put me on the spot with that 100-metre prediction there.
Well, look, that's your expertise, Zach. So I'd really expect better from you there, mate.
Like I said before, I mean, these guys are just warming up for the season, so it's really hard to pick right now. But so they'll be really close.
Hammer throw, one of the most challenging events. Look at the torque building up here for Lauren Bruce. Fantastic speed in the circle.
And it's right over that mark.
And easily, if that's a legal throw, she has, on her first throw, smashed the stadium record here at Cook's Gardens in Wanganui.
I think she got a bit more in there as well.
Oh, absolutely. Personal best of 73.47 for Lauren Bruce, which has automatically qualified her for the Olympics. Triple jump out over 12 metres for the local Wanganui athlete there, so that's not too shabby.
You ever tried any triple jump, Hamish?
I've done a little bit of triple jump, Zach. I've done most events, except for the pole vaults, which I was always a little too scared to attempt. Of course, my knees wouldn't stand up to a triple jump these days.
Yes, of course. They called it cripple jump for a reason.
I've never heard that one, but I like it very much. So, I believe that is the hammer distance, 57.20 or 67.20. Sorry, apologies. So not too bad from Lauren Bruce in the first round. So I search for my pen. Make note of that, like the professional that I am.
Looks like girls are getting ready for this 400 hurdles.
Yeah, we better cut to some action on the track. Portia Bing in lane 3 of the 400-metre hurdles. And outside of her is Anna Percy, who she'll be chasing.
Looks like they've joined the men's and the women's. Got Cam French in there too.
Oh, absolutely fantastic. This is great. Of course, under some circumstances, you are allowed to combine men's and women's events. And so, field here for the men. Cameron French, who appears to be in lane 6, and Kurt Nat, who's in lane 7. But for the woman, Georgia Whiteman from North Harbour Bays, Maggie Jones from Athletics Wanganui, Portia Bays from the North Harbour Club, Portia Bing from the North Harbour Bays Club. Nice. It's been a long day so far, Zach Topping, but I appreciate you correcting me.
I got you.
Portia Bing, our national record holder, over 400-metre hurdles and away cleanly. Personal best of 55.86, and that Olympic qualifier is 55.4. Portia Bing is very capable of running that time and is looking strong down the back straight, as is Cameron French. I'm going to let you call this one, Zach.
Cam was talking to Cam before this. He's happy to have someone there to run with, actually, but he's already gone right past him, so he's not going to have anyone to chase anymore. He's on his own, so it'll be a bit hard for him now to just focus on the finish.
Really pivotal last 150 here for Portia Bing and Cameron really French. Strong. Portia looks fantastic. Cameron French with a personal best of just under 50 seconds. What can he do tonight?
Nice, looking smooth. Really pushing through that end there. Muscles dying, good.
And here comes Portia. Portia Bing looking very strong.
Yeah, that last 50 over that hurdle must be just painful.
So we were hoping to have Anna Percy here racing alongside Portia Bing, and Anna Percy very well performed. Over 400-metre hurdles would have given Portia someone to chase just outside of her.
Yeah, it was really good to see Cam actually back in New Zealand. Don't know what's going on in the world right now. Has forced him back here. I think he was training in Wales for... Wow, that's a good time, man.
Yeah, here we see 51.41 for Cameron French, and Nat Kirk from the local Wanganui club, not bad, 56.05. So 51.41 for Cameron French. It's an interesting one because that's a good time early doors with no competition, but he'll be desperately searching for that Olympic qualifying mark of 48.9. Deep down inside, he's capable of that, but will he get the races?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it happens quite often in New Zealand when you have a standout performer. We'll just cut to Lauren and the hammer throw.
Yeah, really exciting. First round throw out over that stadium record, 67.20. Left-handed thrower gets it out. We're looking at the distance.
Ooh, yeah,
that might be over 70 metres. We've got a bit of a funny angle here, so it's difficult to tell. And Portia Bing, 56.62. The official time through for Portia Bing. Not too bad. Just within 1 second of her PB. So racing by herself, that's very encouraging signs. Here's the replay. Slow-mo even.
Oy.
Great work by the Stream Shop crew here on the SkysportNext platform. Little pirouette, just making sure she stays in bounds.
Just waiting for that update on the distance. Working hard there on the distance board.
Yeah,
there we go.
Great to see
7.
Starting with a 7, that's positive. Great to see the crew from Wanganui Collegiate helping us out. And 71.34.
Nice.
Not too bad. So a big improvement on her first round throw, which was 67.20. And heading over to the high jump, here's one of your club mates from the
jumping over.
Fantastic Palmerston North Athletic and Harrier Club. A fail there at 164.
That'll be close to her personal best that she jumped the other day. As I was saying, Cameron, with Cameron French situation, there's often standout performers that we have in New Zealand, and they run out of competition because they get so good.
Yep.
Must be hard to push past that level. And here we got Scott on the triple jump.
So that is Scott
Thompson.
Scott Thompson, the famous Thompson Athletics family, one of the best performed triple jumpers in New Zealand. Beautiful rhythm on the runway. Very even phases, including a great landing from Scott Thompson there. He's got to be one of the favourites for today's events.
Oh, he's even got high quality raker there, Jordan Peters.
Yeah, when you've got Jordan Peters, national long jump champion, raking the pit, that's an indication of the quality of your meat.
Nice
and
jump there.
Nice, clearly over. We can't quite get a beat on what athletes that is. You might know, Zach Topping. No.
Yeah, can't put my finger on it.
But that's a nice clearance at 164. And so what we're going to do here, we're going to stick with Zach and his expert comments. He knows a little more about the field events than the average track and field fan. Very grateful to have you here. But soon we will be starting the under-20 women's 3,000 metre, which is the Athletics New Zealand Championships for that event. And at that time, we're going to swap in and hear from John Bowden, who is the Athletics New Zealand out-of-stadia coordinator and also a 1986 Commonwealth Games rep. I'll talk more about John when he's in the booth. He loves it when I embarrass him by talking about his achievements. You don't have that problem so much, Zach, but you're a nice guy,
Ouch.
great personality.
Oh, thanks. Wow. Yep. Compliments. Yep. Keep them coming. No, thanks for inviting me here, Hamish.
No,
it's good
great
experience, eh?
Yeah, great to blood a little bit of new talent here in the commentary booth. Very pleased to have you along, and you bring the average age of the commentary team down by about 20 years today. So, and just to go through the program on the track today, of course, next up I mentioned that 3,000 metres. We've got some fantastic 400 metre races, particularly that women's 400. I'd love to get you back in for that one, Zach.
Yeah, I'd be really keen to watch that. I've got a really good spot up here, actually, so we can see the whole thing.
Yep, there's a really high quality 800. We then, of course, go with the Women's Mile Championship, the men's under 23,000 metres, and the highlight of the evening, of course, alongside the Women's Mile, is the Men's Mile tonight. Both of those mile races will be fantastic. We're going to go with the all-distance commentating crew for that one.
Lauren stepping up for, hopefully, another record to extend it.
Yeah, so personal best of 73.47, which has qualified her for the 2021 Tokyo Olympics. Get used to this name, Lauren Bruce. She's really in a fantastic run of form at the moment.
It's her third throw.
It's great to see another, Athletics New Zealand star kind of emerging. We've got some fantastic established stars in Valerie, Tom, and Nick.
Yeah, it's really exciting when another one just pops up out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, almost literally out of nowhere. So impressive, and a great finish. Just short of 70 metres there, but she's got the white flag, so she's putting together a good series, which is, as we know in the throws events, very important to put together a good series, minimise those fouls.
She had a little bit of grimace there at her throw, so she probably know what she did wrong there.
Yep.
And when I say that, I mean it's probably her second best throw so far. Slow-mo over the high jump, looking really good.
And clear over 164 from the Wellingtonian.
Get that bar a wobble. It's true, if you jump off the mat before it falls off, it still counts, is that right?
No, that is not true at all. There's Josie Taylor over at 164. There'll be many officials listening at home who will be infuriated if I don't immediately refute that old wives' tale.
I'm sure there was a lot of people that might have been thinking that as well. So we'll just clear that up. Thanks for that.
Yep.
Yeah, Keely's over there too.
Keely, very good clear jump at 164. This bar's going to just go up and up and up. A very competitive ladies competition for us here today. Keely O'Hagan, Josephine Reeves and Josie Taylor, all with PBs within 2 centimetres of each other.
It'll be a bit of a battle, eh?
Great to see an athlete from the Cambridge Club, one of the fastest growing clubs in New Zealand, out here competing today. And what do we got here? Is that some of the athletes warming up for the Women's 3,000, which means, Zach Topping, we're going to say thank you and goodbye. Really appreciate you giving up some of your time for us here today, and we hope to get you back for some of those sprint events later on.
That sounds good.
So we're going to bring in now 1986 Commonwealth Games representative, John Bowden. I'm going to run through this field quickly. Chloe Brown from Auckland City Athletics, Stephanie Walker from Fielding Mova, Mackenzie Morgan from Wanganui Harriers, Bo Ritchie, Hamilton City Hawks, Caitlin Bissett, Wellington Harrier Athletic Club, Brianna Lee from Hastings Athletics, Josephine Perkins of Athletics Wanganui, Bella Brown of Auckland City Athletics, and Emma Ferguson Fielding Moa. Keep your eye on the Brown sisters from Auckland City Athletics. They've had a fantastic summer so far. Bella Brown and Chloe Brown. You see number 113 there. That is Chloe Brown in the black shorts with the white top. Sister Bella, 112 on the outside in the blue top. Both representing Auckland City Athletics. Both PBs within 1 second of each other and possibly the two firm favourites for today's race. Based on my limited research, really pleased to welcome you into the commentary booth, John Bowden, Athletics New Zealand Outer Stadia Coordinator. Well, you know, it is if you've got a long, confusing title, I think it's a prestigious thing in the world of business. So let's go with it in the world of sport. And of course, you know, I'd say, John, one of your claims to fame, for people who don't know you, you were one of the first men in the world to run a sub-4-minute mile and a sub-2:20 marathon. So, well, you told me you love to talk about your achievements. No, that's not quite true. He's a very modest man, John Bowden. But we are pleased to have you in the booth today, particularly to provide some expert comments during these distance races.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to seeing the talent. Nervousness with the athletes, for the coaches, for mum and dad. So I know it's a prestigious title to win, and so sometimes there's national selections on it.
Yeah, and is this Lauren Bruce in the hammer cage throwing quickly? Very tough to cover these events because you've got so many things happening at once. But we better see what Lauren does here on her fourth attempt. Oh, fantastic looking release, and again just peppering that 70-metre mark. So we can
another good series of throws.
Yeah, she's doing very well. Get used to that name, Lauren Bruce from Canterbury. So we can throw back to the start of this Junior Women's Athletics New Zealand 3,000 metre championships. It's a small but high quality field. We definitely want to watch out for the Brown twins, the class of the field with PBs of 10.07 and 10.08.
And I think Brianna Lee's one of the favourites to win the title if she's there.
Yeah, Brianna Lee from the Hastings Club. What can you tell us about Brianna?
Not much, although she's a really good racer.
Mm-hmm.
And so, again, I think sometimes it's about winning national titles when it comes to a national race. And so the times can be slow. Look, they're not going particularly fast.
Well, yeah, and it's not just national titles, it's national medals. So for a lot of athletes, you know, they'll be looking at the rankings going into this race, going, oh, okay, my time ranks me fifth. Well, you're in with a shot. You're in with a shot.
Exactly.
Yep. And some of these girls, I know particularly Bo Ritchie, who's there on the inside from the Hamilton City Hawks Club, just ran a PB over 800 metres, a very impressive time, I believe, of about 2:17. So you don't want to sleep on those speedy athletes either.
No,
so this kind of gentle pace at the start, all good and well, but if you leave it too late, you can have a speedster come through and nip you at the ends.
Yes, we can see that at all levels. I remember watching the Olympic Games, I think it was in Barcelona way back, where he wasn't the favourite at all, but because it was slow, it enabled all the people to have a chance. All the athletes.
Firmin Cacho from Spain you're talking about? Yes.
Yep, absolutely. And so somebody eventually, I think, in this field will say this is a bit too slow. They headed at about 80 seconds for the first lap, which isn't particularly fast.
To give you an indication of the pace there, Bella Brown just adjusted her hair bun coming up into the home straight. So I think that tells you a bit of what you need to know about the pace so far in this race, but it's not about time. It's about medals today, the Athletics New Zealand Junior 3,000 metre championships.
And it's becoming very technical as we know through how fast they're running after the first 600 metres.
Yeah. So it's the Brown sisters, Chloe and Bella, and then third and fourth, Emma Ferguson and Stephanie Walker, both of the Fielding Mower Club, across the way in fielding.
Good club.
Friendly fielding. Voted New Zealand's best town many, many years in a row, and a fantastic club, the Fielding Mower Harrier Club.
So they all look very relaxed and very cagey, not giving anything away to their opponents. And there's some hands in the air, the bit of pushing and shoving. Nobody wants to take the lead, and here we come up to really the 800 done in 2:46, as you can see on your screen. So,
yeah, I mean, it's not completely pedestrian, though, is it, John? It's
and I think now they're
enough.
starting to wind up a little bit. So
Yeah, you can see some of the athletes getting a little...
probably a
little
bit
frustrated. Yep,
Yeah,
correct.
absolutely.
Now, and interesting that the Brown twins have come back to the front, almost blocking the way for anyone else here. So they're controlling this race, the Brown twins. They're the quality of the field, as I've mentioned before, 10.07 and 10.08 respective PBs.
Yeah, that's
And-
going to be hard to beat. I mean, funnily enough, the stadium record is a fabulous 9:31 by Hannah O'Connor, way back in 2016. So
It's not that far long ago, but yeah.
No, but still a good stadium record. The New Zealand record, for those that are listening, is 9:03 by Katrina Robinson, and that was set way back in 2013. So
Yeah, and Katrina Robinson, she's over in the NCAA system at the moment, and someone may be able to text me and tell me the actual information, but I think she's just recently transferred. So she was with, I believe, Oregon University. I think she might have transferred to Washington. But a fantastic runner, was Australian-based through high school, but declared for New Zealand and ran for us at the World Junior Championships. And, you know, speaking of World Junior Championships, that's the type of event that the Brown sisters are going to be looking at in the next
Absolutely,
year
yes.
or so.
And look, and still it's bunched, and we're going back and seeing another great throw, I believe, coming up.
Yeah, Lauren Bruce again. You know, one throw is very much like the other with Lauren, peppering that 70-metre mark again. She's going to be a little frustrated because we know what she's capable of. She knows what she's capable of. Yep, you see the tongue going out there. A little bit of exasperation from Lauren Bruce. And we switch back and see very much the same thing here. We've lost one of the fielding athletes off the back of the pack. So we're down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 athletes fighting it out for just 3 medals.
Yes, and looks as though perhaps it's coming down as the pace quickens a little bit as we get to the nitty-gritty of the race, I guess. It's coming up to the 4th lap, and you know it's going to be hard for 5 and 6 coming now. So
and they are tightly bunched. We're seeing a little bit of bump and grind from the ladies here, just touching up against each other. Athletics, generally you think of as a non-contact sport, but there's nothing particularly illegal about touching and moving against another athlete. You can't do anything to impair their own race, anything purposeful. But
yes, there'll be plenty of eyes watching.
Yeah, it's not uncommon to get a little bit of push and shove, although the
That makes it a
officials
bit
will,
fun, really.
yeah, well, the officials will often have a word, and you don't want to cross that line.
No, so the twins are still controlling the race, the pace, and how it's developing. So
And we're essentially down to 5 now with that's Caitlin Bassett from Wellington Harriers, who's just dropped off 10 metres from that lead pack. So the medals will come from these 5 athletes. I wish I knew which of the fielding mower athletes it was in the front bunch there.
yes, I do. And sometimes this is great for spectators because they actually see a race, they see the tactics developing in a 3,000 metre race, and a lot can happen. It's a bit like chess, and you make your move and you have to decide when to go. So this is what these young women are doing right now, coming down the back straight, and now the next lap and a half is pretty tough. So they've got plans A and plans B, most of them, from their coaches and from their input.
Yep.
And we'll just see what plan works for them today.
So when they come up through the start-finish line for the next time, will that be 2 laps to go,
2
I
laps.
believe?
Yes.
Yep. So the pace isn't too bad. It definitely has picked up, but still very clearly being controlled here by the Brown twins, I should say. Not just sisters, but twins. I'm glad they're wearing different coloured tops. So that's Chloe in the white and Bella in the blue with the ACA uniform. And they're definitely laying down the pace here. Bit of a preset move, I believe, here, John, with 2 laps to go.
And Bo Ritchie's still one of the favourites, so she's hasn't let them go. So she's now making her move.
Yeah, well, she's making her move by hanging on, making her move for a medal, that's for sure. And I believe it's Caitlin Bassett from Hawke's Bay in 4th. Don't count her out. Don't count out the athlete from Fielding Moa either.
Now, it's one of these things I know that we're trying to develop in New Zealand middle distance running is a kick. As you know, at all levels, whether it's under 20, under 16, Olympics. That's why Nick's done so well in all our distance runs. They've got a kick. And it'll be interesting to see what the kick is like. When it comes down with about a lap, that will be the kick from 200, 300 out usually. Be good to see.
Absolutely, and it really does look like these three athletes are going to be fighting it out for the medals. So that's Bo Ritchie, Chloe Brown, and Bella Brown. Caitlin Bissett, back and forth, closely stalked by one of the fielding mower athletes. I'm going to take a guess and say it's Stephanie Walker. Completely uneducated guess, though.
So here we are.
Now, one of my favourite memories, John, as we come up with one lap to go.
Yes, it's this is it. This is the crunch. Here we go.
So it's Chloe Brown, who's broken away from her sister and from Bo Ritchie. So Chloe Brown, 2 metres, Bo Ritchie, 4 metres, and then Bella Brown. These three looking very good for the medals at the moment, but impressive running from Chloe Brown of Auckland City Athletics Club.
Yes, once she decided to go, she really wanted to go, and that's an important point for our younger viewers who are watching. When you're going to make a move, be really strong and do it. And that's what she's exactly done, and she's picking up even more so with 150 to go.
Oh, don't count out young Bo Ritchie here.
No, she hasn't given up.
Yeah, Bo Ritchie 10 metres back, further 20 metres back to Bella Brown. It's all going to come down to the last 100. Chloe Brown looking strong. Fantastic last lap from the ACA athletes. Chloe Brown, number 131, Auckland City Athletics, is going to take out the Athletics New Zealand Junior 3,000 metre title. Her sister's going to secure the bronze. Great running from the Brown twins. It won't be their best time. They've got great times to their credit. 2 very talented and well-trained athletes with a fantastic future ahead of them, John.
Absolutely, and look, you can't take away your medals. Times can be broken, but you know when you win your first New Zealand title, you get a medal. You keep that for life.
Absolutely. Very good.
Great race to see.
Very much an entertaining race. A little bit cagey at the start there, but fantastic stuff.
And look, it's beautiful conditions now. The wind's died a little bit. It was perfect to help the. Here we go. Here's some results, and officially Eddie run 10.54. Joseph Miller 10.66, and where's our Zach?
Zach Topping, 11.16.
Bit of work to do, but it's his opening race.
First race of the season for Zach Topping. He's very much a full-time professional who loves his athletics and trains in the margins of his life and does very well. He's gone under 11 seconds.
And there's the results for the women's 100. Again, great for Palmerston North Athletics with Shay Little getting 12.39 for the win. And Upper Hutt. So it's great to see all these different clubs throughout New Zealand being here at Cook's Classic.
Yeah, it is one of the great things about Cook's Classic is it does give these local central region athletes a chance to shine, and some fantastic quality comes out of this region. Not least of all Hamish Kerr, who we're going to be seeing in the high jump later on.
And look, even though she's limping a little bit, she's going to finish this national championships, which is great to see. And that's Josephine Perkins from Athletics Wanganui, making sure she completed her national championship event. So there we have some of the results with Chloe Brown running 10.3.87. Bo Ritchie running 10 minutes, 6 seconds, 0.20. And Bella Brown in third from Auckland City, 10 minutes, 11.61. So some great results for those first three in the New Zealand Under-20 Women's 3,000 metre championship. There we have a picture of some of our shot putters. There's Jack O'Gill, I can see.
So those last
must have made a huge difference to her time.
Yeah, fantastic difference. So
You can always make it up if you run a little bit slow in a 3,000 metre race. You've got 7.5 laps to make a difference.
yep. And the high jump up to 169, but we're either looking at the shot put field now. Oh, back to the high jump. Bar at 169, so getting up there. I believe this is Keely O'Hagan. Personal best of 185, so surprised to see her fail there on her third attempt, so out of the competition, unfortunately.
Yeah, she won't be pleased with that, I wouldn't think.
No, absolutely not. It can be a fickle friend, a tough event, the high jump.
Absolutely it can.
And very much tough on the joints as well. That right knee, jumpers often need to tape up, use all sorts of fancy Keno tape. And there is the man himself in the white jacket. That's Hamish Kerr, co-national record holder with a personal best of 2.3 metres, 2.30 metres, 2 metres 30. The Olympic qualifier, auto qualifier, is 2:33, John.
Yeah, no, I saw him jump at the Night of Mires up in Auckland in December, just before Christmas, and just the crowd really got into it, and he gave a great performance.
There was some great commentary happening in field there as we see Jacko Gill stepping into the circle. So the officials are out there. So this looks like the start of the men's shot put competition, which is very exciting. Jacko Gill versus Tom Walsh. How good is this, Jacko Gill? A best of 21.47.
Yeah, he's throwing really well at the moment too, so it's a great competition between these two.
And that red line is representative of the stadium record, and I can all but guarantee that stadium record is going to go tonight if it hasn't already. Wow, I do believe it has. That stadium record is 20.06, and I think Jacko's got that on his first round. And can I tell you, he won't actually even be happy with that throw. He didn't have a great release and follow through there. And here's Ryan Ballantyne, Tiawamutu's favourite son in the pink shirt, coming into the circle. This man has been ready to break 20 metres for the past year.
It's just seeing the progress that he's made has been fantastic.
Here's a distance for Jacko. You need to turn that board the other way, young lady, if you can. Yes, thank you very much. 20.06 equals the stadium record. How's that? First throw of the competition, yeah.
It's going to be a great competition.
Ballantyne duffs the release a little.
Over the 19 for a good first round throw.
If you ever want to watch 50 Shades of angst and disappointment, just keep an eye on Ryan Ballantyne's face after a shot put. Some high jump action. That athlete from Wellington there clearing the bar comfortably. Yeah, Ryan Ballantyne, he's a fantastic athlete. He is ready to break 20 metres in competition. Just waiting for that perfect day, that perfect evening. 18.29 so far from Ballantyne. And here's the big man, Tom Walsh. World champion. World indoor champion, New Zealand record holder. I might have to give him a new T-shirt. Well,
really, but I'm not going to be the one to suggest he has a different one.
I was thinking of buying one of those T-shirts. Actually, only $30. Follow Tom on Instagram. $30 plus postage and packaging. Running is overrated. Sponsored by Walsh Shot. He started his own little business.
I might buy something.
Yeah, well, with these, there's a particular type of shot put, and you can change the weights. Great little piece of engineering. So Tom Walsh, not only a fantastic athlete, but he's started up a little business selling these very specific shot puts that are great for training.
Yes, I remember watching Tom. Actually, I did see him run once in the sprint.
Yes, that's Josh Inger.
Yes,
in the high jump over at 190, which is an equal PB, over on his third attempt. So well done, Josh. Fantastic to see. I've got my fingers crossed for 195 for Josh. This is a heptathlete out of the Canterbury Old Boys Club. And we see there Lexi Maples, who earlier was participating in the first rounds of the hammer throw. So she's dashed across to the shot put. Wanganui athlete, originally Lexi Maples. So fantastic to see her doubling up in the throws event.
Yeah, look, it's really catching the public's imagination, the shot put. So here we go. In the 400-metre dash, this is going to be a great race too. We've got the current New Zealand champion performing.
Yep, so James Robertson in 1, Seb Skelton in 2, Braden Grant in 3, Luke Mercia in 4, Rowan Blakey in 5, Michael Stadzinski in 6, Kyron Pym in 7, and Savary Soz in the outside lane in lane 8. There looks to have been some scratching, so in fact a numerous amount of scratching. So who we got?
We've got
Michael Stadzinski there, just had a start. He's possibly better known as an emerging 800-metre runner, Stadzinski. Inside of him is Seb Skelton.
Another fine clearance there in the high jump.
That is Josie Taylor out of Hamilton.
Yeah, well cleared. So
yeah, she just cleared a PB of 185 last week at Potts Classic. 174. Can I tell you, it's very challenging calling all these various events. Thumbing through my program. 174 is Imogen Skelton. Imogen Skelton unsuccessful there. And if they could turn around the reader board, we'd know what height it's at. But I want to say 179. So ready for a start now. Finn O'Sullivan, Christchurch Old Boys, Seb Skelton, Wellington Harriers, Michael Stadzinski of Wairarapa. Keep an eye on him. James Robertson is a scratch.
Yeah, there's 4 in the field, and it's a good clean start as they go around the first bend and down the back straight. The wind has died, so the 400-metre runs will be pleased about
so that's James Robertson you're seeing on your screen, well coached by James Mortimer. James Robertson, your current national champion, I think you were saying, John. Personal best around that. 49.13 is the personal best for James Robinson, so he better watch out for Stadzinski, almost identical PB of 49.18, and he's going to close well. Stadzinski with the 800-metre strength. Can Robertson hang on? Robertson from Auckland City Athletics hangs on. We'll await the time. It was Stadzinski in seconds, and then it may have been Seb Skelton, I believe, in third. Yes, Seb Skelton third from the Wellington Harrier Athletic Club. A time of 49.81 for James Robertson. 49.81, not bad running. Stadzinski 50.30. So outside of their PBs, but good running all of the same.
Again, a lot of these races are...
high jump. Here we go. Imogen Skelton. Up, over. Yeah. A little wobble. Does the bar stay on? It does. Successful jump. Imogen Skelton at 173. So the bar getting up to decent heights now. Speaking of decent heights, I'm very excited about this women's 400-metre dash. I'm going to go through this field as I see it. We've got Monique Gorey, best of 56.69. Isabel Neal, 55.56. Annalise Karma, 54.6. Jordan Blake, 54.5. Taylor Brunger, 54.6. Maya Broughton, 54.9. Cameron Smart, 54.6. And Shannon Geary, 58.5. A very competitive field in this women's 400 metres, brought to you by the Steel Form Group. It's going to be an exciting race. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 athletes clustered around that 54-second mark, which is very good running in New Zealand. Here's Lexi Maples. So the stadium record for the women's 400, interestingly, John.
Yes, I see
Lexi Maples out around that 8-metre mark. Not bad throwing. So the stadium record for the women's 400 is 51.98, held by one Tamsin Lewis from Australia, who was a world-class runner over 800 metres and on several 4x400 metres.
Yes,
did she run 4 hurdles as well?
No, just the 400 relay, the 800, and I did meet Tamsin.
Oh, and over at 173.
Nice jumping yet again. It's just great conditions now for both field and the track.
So that's Keely O'Hagan over at 173. Christchurch Old Boys United. Back to the shot put. And we should head down to the start of this women's 400 metres. The hammer has wrapped up. It looked like Lauren Bruce had a best of 71.14. We'll confirm that later in the program. But this women's 400 is going to be a super exciting race. Monique Gorey from the Palmerston North Club in 1. Oh, Tom Walsh is getting ready to throw. We're going to cover that. Might have to pick up the 400 metres as the action continues. But when a world champion steps into the circle, you want to cover it, John. What do you say?
Absolutely. It's I'm not going to argue with Tom.
No, absolutely.
But he's a world-class athlete along with Jacko, so you've got to watch.
Oh, and interestingly, and so this is the battle today. So Tom Walsh under 20 metres there, and the battle is Tom versus Jacko. They're 1-1 for the season, with Jacko having won the Night of Fives, and Tom more recently having won at the Potts Classic. Actually, sorry, Jacko wasn't at that event.
No, he wasn't. No,
so it's really 1-0 for the season to Jacko,
yeah.
And that's Jacko's first win for a few years. This field, I mean, I don't even know what to say. Keep an eye out for that athlete in lane 5. That's Taylor Brunger. She's actually a local athlete competing for Athletics Wanganui, well coached by Kerry Hill out of Tauranga. Inside of her, Jordan Blake, Annalise Karma, Isabel Neal. Outside of her, in lane 7, who we're not going to see just yet, Cameron Smart. We've got to talk about Cameron Smart, daughter of Tony Hodgkinson.
And she's been training well.
She's been training very well, Cameron Smart, competing for the North Harbour Bays Club. Cameron Smart, of course, her mum is Tony Hodgkinson, Olympic 800-metre finalist. Cameron establishing her name as a 400-metre, one-lap specialist, and she's looking very strong at the moment. Emma Douglas just holding her on the outside, but it is definitely Cameron Smart leading. Taylor Brunger looking very strong. Don't count out Jordan Blake from Christchurch Avon. You can throw a blanket over these girls, John, with 150 to go.
And absolutely, with the times, this is going to be phenomenal. One of probably the tightest races we might see.
And Isabel Neal on the inside looking good, but Cameron Smart into the home straight. She has a lead. She's wearing the Adidas kit. Cameron Smart, the golden girl from Golden Bay, 1 metre lead over her training partner, Isabel Neal. But it's Cameron Smart looking very smart indeed over 400 metres.
And a great race.
That is fantastic running, Cameron Smart. She's got a little bit to live up to with mum being an Olympic finalist, but she's made the call to specialise over the 1 lap distance. Yes. And her speed has developed tremendously over the past year under the guidance of her coach up at the North Harbour Bays Club.
Yeah, and look, she made that move. And here we go.
We see Jacko Gill out to 21.11 and leading the men's shot put. Fantastic second round attempt by Jacko Gill out to 21.11. Time's up, Cameron Smart, 54.76.
There's Ryan with his second throw. And here we go, Cameron Smart, 54.76. Isabel Neal from North Harbour, second in 55.46. Annalise Karma, the current New Zealand 400-metre champion, at 55.86. Maya Broughton, 55.99. Emma Douglas from Olympic Carriers, 57.09. Talia Brunger, 57.45. Monique, 58.11, and Jordan Blake of Christchurch Old Boys, 58.16.
Yeah, so just short of the PB there for Cameron Smart, but in second place, Isabel Neal of the North Harbour Bays Club also did run a PB. So fantastic running. Those two athletes, former training mates. Still very good friends, train together from time to time, so great to see, and fantastic talent to keep an eye on. So we see some action.
And the high jump.
Oh, we're up to the shot put now, and what are we going to go with, high jump or shot put? It's hard to know. Both events very exciting. So that's Tom Maloney getting ready to high jump. Now, Tom Maloney just broke the 2-metre barrier last week in Hastings at Potts Classic. But here is Lisa Adams. Oh, Maloney.
Yes. Excellent.
Clear at 195. Switching back to world para-athletics record holder Lisa Adams, world para-champion, the F37 category. Personal best is 15.50 metres, and that has peppered out around that mark, can I tell you. We're going to stay with this for as long as we can because... that
looks very close.
Yeah, we've got some action on the track, but I believe it's a staggered race. Oh, that's coming up on the track, so we're going to stay with this shot put action and see what that distance was for Lisa Adams. So her world record is 50.50 metres. So unofficial confirmation coming through of a 1 centimetre world record from Lisa Adams in the first round of the women's shot put. Is that correct?
15.17.
Oh, that would be incorrect then. So world record is 15.50 from Lisa Adams. So I do feel that world record is within reach today. And Madison Weshi is that over 16 metres. So her best is 18.35. Looking for an automatic Olympic qualifier of 18.50, Madison Weshi. Some action in the B race of the men's 400.
And again, looks like another exciting close race as they come off the top bend leading into the home straight. A lot of support for these athletes from the crowd here at Cook's Classic 2021. Again, driving forward as much as he can, and it's another fine win.
That's actually Aidan Porritt of the Palmerston North Athletic and Harrier Club. Very talented young man, coached by George McConaughey, one of the very renowned coaches in athletics. Here's Lexi Maples back to the shot put. Shout out to Aidan's older brother, Harrison. Hope you're watching. 52.25 for Aidan.
Ooh.
Not too bad for a man who is probably going to end up running the middle distances. So, very good sign. Very talented athletics family, the Porritt family. Lisa Adams looking cool in the sunglasses. I once called Lisa Adams a bit of a rough diamond, and she's never let me live it down. But she's an absolutely electric personality. A lot of fun to compete against, I imagine. Very lively in the athlete area. Always great to see these athletes encouraging and supporting one another.
Yeah, that happens a lot, doesn't it, in field events?
Yeah, they've got great camaraderie. Us skinny old runners, distance runners, we would never be that friendly to one another. But the throwers, they tend to be very supportive of one another, and good on them. That was Sophie Andrews of Athletics Wanganui. Official results, Chloe Brown taking the win in the Athletics New Zealand under 23,000 metres, 10.03.9, with Bo Ritchie in second and her twin sister Bella Brown in third. And here he comes.
Can Tom respond to Jacko's second round of 21.11 metres?
Yeah, look, it's fantastic that Tom can be put under this type of pressure domestically. It's actually absolutely fantastic. If you're the best in the world, often you have to go overseas to Europe to get that high-level competition. But here in New Zealand, there's Jacko, who can keep him honest. Jacko, of course, holds many, many junior world records, was a fantastic junior and is a world-class athlete in his own right, an Olympic finalist. But Tom is our world champion. Let's see how he responds. And that's going to go left a little, left a lot. Now, it was a good throw.
It was.
Did you see what barrier the shot put was hitting? So it hit the 21-metre barrier on the full. So we've got a kind of B level 400 here with some local athletes, which is fantastic to see. But that shot put, if we could get a replay of that, if there's any way, that would be fantastic. So my call on that is the shot put went to the left and on the full, well, not quite on the full, so just short of the 21-metre mark, but obviously a foul. So Jacko Gill attempting to go 2-0 against Tom Walsh. He's already won one this season at the Night of Fives at the AUT Millennium. And Tom Walsh, that won't sit well with him, and he won't want to go away without the W next to his name tonight. So that looks like Jaden Rolfe from Palmerston North. So it's a Palmerston North 1-2 in these B races of the 400 metres.
Yeah, and look, it's fantastic to see. Here we go.
Well, it's fantastic to see Jacko Gill come back into the circle for his third attempt.
He'll want to extend the lead.
He will.
And put more pressure on Tom, since he did a foul in the previous round.
Yeah, and that's a factor, the pressure you put on your competition by getting out to a good early lead. What we see, not as much speed from Jacko as he gets around the circle, but fantastic power through the delivery. It's very well coached by Mike Schofield. Young coach. Jacko Gill, of course, competes for the Takapuna Club. See a replay here. He is a very different thrower from Tom Walsh. Tom Walsh is all about speed, balance, and precision. Jacko Gill puts a lot of power into that shot put. Make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, that is one of New Zealand's strongest men pushing the shot put, a very powerful athlete. We're going to wait and see what a distance is there. 20.81, so a good backup throw in the third round, leading the competition at 21.11. Ryan Ballantyne.
Yeah.
Two of the highlighted athletes from today's competition, Ryan Ballantyne and Catherine Camp, both from the Te Awamutu Club originally. Wow. So great to see the small town clubs, the regional clubs within New Zealand, still producing champions. Of course, a long history in that. Of that in New Zealand. Lorraine Moller out of Patatadu, Tony Rogers out of Huntley. Yep. You could probably name six more than I could, John.
No, I was going to name those couple.
So that's Keely O'Hagan, an unsuccessful attempt there. There's a bit of sunshine in my eye. So the height's at 177. Great work from the team here at Stream Shop on the SkysportNext platform.
And also, I can tell you, when Holly Robinson, our para javelin thrower.
She's from the West Coast.
From the West Coast and moved to Otago to be with her coach, Raylene Bates.
And there's one of the driving forces of this meet on his scooter, his power scooter there. That's Alec McNabb, a famous administrator, coach, a secondary school educator here in Wanganui. Does a great job. Josie Taylor. Bars at 177. She jumped 185 last weekend. Coached by her dad out of the Hamilton City Hawks. Over, easy.
Lovely rhythm.
Very nice rhythm, I agree. Onwards and upwards from Josie Taylor. Oh,
good clearance as well.
It's actually easy. First part of that jump is great. Good height. Arm nice and high, and then curling over the bar.
Comes down, doesn't it, in the high jump and shot put release. A lot is with rhythm.
Yes, absolutely. Like these are power strength events, absolutely. But that rhythm technique is everything. This is Imogen Skelton, Auckland City Athletics, but wearing the white singlet, an attempt at 177. Unlucky. Unlucky not to get over there at 177 for Imogen Skelton. And so, John, with any Cooks Classic, the highlight is going to be the mile. And in a fantastic initiative, the miles tonight are going to be the first Athletics New Zealand Mile Championships since 1969. Some credit has to go to our CEO here, Pete Fitzinger, for creating the Athletics New Zealand Mile Championship. Of course, since 69, the championship has been run over 1,500 metres, but it's not uncommon internationally to have a 1,500 metres and a mile championship. So it's great that we've added it here at Athletics New Zealand, and it's great that it's happening here at Wanganui.
Yeah, and in fact, I think the last New Zealand Championships for this mile was held in Hamilton.
Really?
Yes. And I know Heather Thompson's here at this meet watching, and Heather Matthews, as she's known now.
Yep,
she won the women's.
And Dick Quacks won the men's.
And your next guest, when he arrives.
Yep.
If he remembers where to come, of course. He could be enjoying refreshments.
He could be.
Our Rod Dixon was the junior men's New Zealand mile champion way back when it was held in Hamilton. So
yeah, and how this works for those watching at home, I'll bore a few people to death, but the Athletics New Zealand has athletics is a fairly traditional sport, and it's a sport that is governed by a strong set of rules. But in order to make a change, there's a fairly simple process of you just nominate a change. The information is all on our website. You can nominate a rule change, let's say, for instance, to add a 1 mile championship, and then that goes to our rule committee, and if they think that has merit, it goes out to the public for a 50-day consultation, and then it can be implemented from there. See a fantastic...
I love this. Here we go.
So this is a real mainstay of the Cooks Classic here at Cooks Garden in Wanganui. The kids dash for cash. There's a huge lead up to this. It's actually a great community initiative. They go around to all the schools and they section them off into little groups, and they find the fastest kids. And then the winners, they all come, they get these T-shirts depending on what area they're from, and then they race each other to see who the fastest kid on the block is. They're going over 60 metres tonight. There's going to be about 4 or 5 of these races, and they are just absolutely magic to watch. As we see Madison Weshy into the circle now. Madison Weshy, former New Zealand shot put champion. She is a very well-performed athlete, particularly in the junior ranks, looking to step up and break that Olympic qualifier, which is 18:50. And so she's just short of that 18-metre mark today. Her best is 18:35. She's in that training group with Jack O'Gill, actually, coached by
Isn't it great?
Mike Schofield.
Yeah, we've got two areas of shot put.
Oh, we've got
excellent. Auckland and Timaru. It's just in world class.
We're very lucky in New Zealand. We have we've almost got them coming out of our ears. World class throws coaches and programs. When you include the para athletes. You know, we've got Raylene Bates and John Eden both doing amazing things.
We've got a world
with
champion
the throws.
in
Lisa Adams. Yep.
In the paras, and we've had gold medalists and medalists.
Oh, absolutely.
Through Raylene and in the para.
Yeah. So obviously, you know, we're very proud of our heritage, especially as a great distance nation. But really, our most recent success internationally has been in the throws in the pole vault.
And then we've got the vertical jumps with
Hamish Gill kind of emerging as well. Very possible we could be developing a few world-class high jumpers. So it's exciting stuff. It's an exciting time to be involved in the sport.
And especially it's been kind of one of the blessings of COVID, I guess. They've had to stay home, compete against each other. We see that in the distance. We see that in the shot put. See it in the pole vault, so it's great to see. And there's
Maloney, unsuccessful on the high jump.
At 2 metres.
It looks like 2 metres.
I shouldn't talk about his hair because I got told off by my mother when I had long hair, and she said I would have run fast if I had short hair, even for John Walker. So I won't tell a young high jumper that he could have maybe jumped higher.
Oh, well,
my mother would. I can tell you.
I'd
disagree with her. But.
Lots of respect for your mother, but I think she's wrong on that one. It's a well-established fact that a good header here will make you a better performed athlete. women's triple jump. So on the runway there, we saw Andrea McDowell, but really the highlighted athlete, number 1, Anna Thompson, out of the Mana Athletics Club. But a very strong field. In fact, a large field, 11 athletes. And don't sleep on Michelle Farmer from Athletics Harweda, coached by Ed Fern.
He's got a good stable down there, old Ed,
absolutely.
Hasn't he? Yes.
Ed Fern was a world-class high jumper, represented the United States through the 80s, I believe, John?
Yes, it would be in my era.
Mm-hmm. And so moved to Harweda with his wife, and they're a fantastic part of the athletics community here in New Zealand. We're very lucky to have them, as Lisa Adams stepping into the circle again.
Let's see if the world record can occur on this throw.
Yeah,
No-
look,
no pressure.
we don't want to put too much pressure on her.
Hopefully she can't hear me.
Anytime you're out over 15 metres, you're...
absolutely.
See,
Yeah.
I'm not sure another athlete in Lisa's classification has ever broken 15 metres. She may be the only one. She is an absolutely phenomenal athlete, this young lady. We're very lucky and pleased to have her in the sport. And her technique has improved so much under Val, Sister Val coaching her. That is peppering that world record mark. She gets a red flag there. Unfortunate. I put the knockers on her just as I talk about how much her technique has improved. She's got fantastic power out of the back of the circle.
Again, it's great to see these young athletes giving their all over 60 to 80 metres. Sorry, Hamish, going back to that mile, yeah, it'll be great for the women as well. And I remember probably Pete's, our CEO's wife, was a 100-metre runner and ended up, and still has got the New Zealand record for the women's mile, which could be under threat tonight by Camille and Katrina Kemp in the women's mile. So it'll be a set of two great races.
Yeah, absolutely. So Camille Buscombe versus Catherine Camp in the Women's Mile Championship. Camille has qualified for the Olympics over 5,000 and 10,000 metres.
She has.
So we see Diana on the triple jump runway. That's Diana Isamagalova. Sorry about the mispronunciation there, Diana. Very well performed, consistent athlete out of Auckland. Been jumping over 12 metres this season. What can she do today? Oh, fantastic jumping there.
Yes. I mean, look, it's funny enough, you see it. Oh, and here comes Tom. So can he respond after his last foul throw?
Jack O'Gill still leading. Here's Tom Walsh. Ooh. Hands on head for Tom Walsh. It's a legal throw. It's over 20 metres. It's over the old meet record, but it's not going to challenge Jack O'Gill's 21.11.
No. So that's about I believe the fourth throw.
Yeah,
we're in the fourth throw of the six.
Or third or fourth. Difficult to keep up with all the action. And here's Farmer from Harweda, coached by Ed Fern, as we mentioned. Yeah, and what you expect to see is what you do see. Fantastic technique. 20.20, I believe, from Tom Walsh.
It was.
And here is Hamish Kerr. It looks like a warm-up, but he's in the competition at 2:05.
His first attempt and well cleared.
Yeah, he doesn't even bother taking his pants off for a 2:05. It's a very, very good jumper, Hamish Kerr. Excited to see what he can do today. And here's Jack O'Gill. Can he improve? Can he increase that lead? Out to 21.11 so far. And very lucky now. We're just going to call Jacko's throw. Oh, and Jacko goes left, a bit of a foul. But very pleased to be introducing into the commentary booth Olympic medalist and New York City Marathon winner, Rod Dixon. So one of the real privileges of my job is the occasional opportunity to rub shoulders with legends of the sport. So welcome, Rod. It's fantastic to have you join us today. An absolute pleasure as we see Josie Taylor from Hamilton in the high jump again.
Ooh.
Unsuccessful attempt there. I think we're up around the 180 mark. She cleared 185 last week. But, Rod, how this works, I'm going to chat, ask you a few questions. We're also going to call the action as we go along. All sorts happening here today, so very exciting. But, Rod, you've been domiciled in the United States for many, many years. You're back now. You're back in Nelson. It's really exciting to have you back. What brought you back to New Zealand?
Well, it was COVID.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, I was scheduled to go to Hong Kong and the Philippines to work on the program. And they just said, you may have to wait because there's this COVID that's happening.
Yep.
And then suddenly the snowball.
Yep.
And New Zealand acted responsibly, straight onto it.
Yep.
I could see what was happening in the United States. And quite frankly, and with due respect, they weren't united.
Yep.
They were individually trying to battle. President Trump was not responsible.
Yep.
And the next thing is all the schools are down, schools are out, and the program that I run in a lot of these low-income schools
Yep.
was stopped. And here we go.
Yeah, you're going to love this because I know you're a big supporter of running in schools. So fastest kid on the block here, competition from Wanganui. These are obviously the older kids, the final race of the fastest kid on the block initiative. And you're a big supporter of kids staying fit, staying in athletics. Can you tell us a little bit about the Rod Dixon kids marathon?
Kids marathon.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it really starts ABC.
Yep.
Agility, balance, coordination.
Yep.
The next phase that they go through is finishing is winning.
Mm-hmm.
Winning is finishing.
Yep.
We don't have first, second, third. We get kids to understand that it's the hare and the tortoise.
Yep.
The tortoise won the race.
Yep.
And they understand that and pick that up very, very quickly. And the great thing about it is that, here we go.
Yep. Josie Taylor now, second attempt. Got a bit of sun in my eye, so I can't see where the bar's at. Tough work calling these events. Tough work, but I'm happy to do it, especially alongside a legend like Rod Dixon. Very thankful for you to join us. So, Rod, you were saying finishing is winning, horse in the tear.
Yes. And
tortoise and the hare, we'll say that.
Yep. I always say the hare and the tortoise. But the kids understand slow and steady is good enough to get your medal. Mm-hmm. And all the kids get the same medal.
Yep.
And the most popular of all the medals that I've got, I have the World Championships, here we go.
Lisa Adams.
Yes.
World Para Champion.
Fabulous.
In this women's shot put. She is, so do you know about
Yes,
Lisa?
totally.
Yes, good.
Yes.
You're up with the scene. I like it.
Yes.
Oh, that looks like a good release. That's right around that
Very
world
nice.
record mark. I don't know if it's going to get there. She did mention when she came tonight that she was feeling pretty good. Get the world record forms ready. I don't want to throw her under the bus, but you can see why she said it, because she's there or thereabouts. She might get it on that next one. We'll wait and see.
Very talented.
So that red mark, that red number 3 represents her current world record.
Yeah.
Oh, we're lining. Great
Yes.
to have you, because we're lining up for a very exciting 800-metre event now. Oh, and it's a jam-packed field.
Isn't it?
Absolutely amazing. Oh, Tom, the action just won't stop, because Tom Walsh is about to throw. But this 800 metres, it's highlighted by a few fantastic athletes. We've got Alex Bedos of the Cook Islands. He's actually a 2016 Olympian. I think you see him in lane 2 there. He's the athlete on the left.
Okay,
So that's Alex Bedos. We've got Reese Bishop from the Egmont Club, and I think that's him in lane 3, although there's 2 Egmont athletes, so I can't be sure. He's got a best of 150.96. James Harding from Papakura. who I can't spot out there. He's got a 151.19. So this is a great race. No athlete in this race has broken 150. But tonight could be the night for these guys. I understand there's a pacemaker lined up to take him out at a good pace. So it's very exciting stuff. Seeing the kids get their prizes is also very exciting. And here's the Te Awamutu kid, Ryan Ballantyne. One of my life goals is to be commentating when Ryan finally breaks 20 metres. He's going to do it one day. Can it be now? Oh, not bad from Ryan Ballantyne. Yeah, it's tough.
It's some very fine young people in the sport.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's one of them, Hamish Kerr, flying.
Nice.
Oh, you can see why he's a 230 high jumper.
Great technique.
Absolutely fantastic. Great power, precision. And this is an absolutely huge field. What do we got here?
Very talented,
1, 2,
very
3,
talented
4, 5.
field, and just this is the next generation.
It absolutely is. I think the oldest athlete in this field might be 21 years old if we're lucky. We've got a lot. It's mostly teenagers, and these teenagers are quick. What were you running as a young teen? You know, when you think back to your late high school days, what were you hitting?
1:59 to 2 minutes.
Whew. And here's Tom Walsh, just over 20 metres again. So Jack O'Gill's going to retain his lead, and Tom Walsh, the frustration grows. And they're away in the men's 800 metres here at the Cooks Classic 2021. It's a race, the Loaders Sir Peter Snell 800 metres. Great name, named after the man who still holds the Athletics New Zealand national record. You eventually got down to 147.
Very good, yes.
Yep.
It did.
Michael Stasinski taking the lead. He ran in the 400 earlier, so I believe...
So he's the rabbit.
Yeah, he's checking his watch.
Pace leader.
He's gone through in about 24:25, so it might be a little quick. But that's the Olympian, Alex Bedos, in second.
Yes.
Athlete from Palmerston North in third. Who is that? I don't even know if he's on my list. It's Daniel Cooper. Daniel Cooper looking very good. James Ford in fourth place, if you include the pacemaker. They're strung out. They're all on the pace.
Yeah, they're good. That's a wonderful
54.
pace.
Great pace work.
Yes.
Tell me what you see. I'm going to let you call this. It's not every day we've got an Olympic medalist calling a middle distance race.
Okay.
Tell us what you see, Rod.
So the pace leader's out. So now it's back to the field. They're all pretty cautious here as they go around that into the back straight. Now there's a bit of movement. Seconds getting up to the shoulder of the leader. And they're bunching up those four. They're just starting to separate themselves. And they're looking very, very comfortable. There's not going to be anything until middle of the bend, I think. No, there's a little bit of pace on now.
Oh, so Daniel Cooper from Palmerston North. He's going to run a huge PB here. Alex Bedos of the Cook Islands, born in Rotorua, coached by Justin Ronaldo out of Australia. He's going to win. Oh, Daniel Cooper's having a crack. Daniel Cooper.
Coming back.
Huge PB for Daniel Cooper. Oh. Alex Bedos may have also got a PB. Hector Farmer in third. Those times are going to come up here. That is exciting running for a very talented group of young athletes.
Yes. And the exciting thing for me is that those are your future 1,500-metre runners.
Yes.
And running those sort of times at this age will be a nice step up towards running the 1,500 and the mile, because we've got the mile back on the New Zealand calendar now. That the history is repeating itself and bringing back the mile. Both of them very, very composed. They're not struggling. They're running through nicely. Both very aware that the line is there and they've got to get right across that line.
Sorry, some slight technical difficulties there, for me at least. So we see Lisa Adams back into the circle now. And confirmation, 150.88 from Alex Bedos in that 800 metres, and that is a very good-looking throw by Lisa Adams. 151.05 from St. James Harding in second from Papakura, and Reese Bishop of Egmont Athletics, 153.91.
That's a good race. That's a good race. The top three have really shown that they're very, very capable of going under 150 at some point.
Yep. Alex Bedos, of course, competing for the Cook Islands, so he went to the 2016 Olympics and the 2018 Commonwealth Games. Hamish Kerr having lots of fun in the high jump. The bar's up now to 217. He'll be the only athlete left in this competition. And look, I'll talk about it because it's possible. So he's the co-national record holder at 2.30 metres. The automatic Olympic qualifier is 2:33. It's the meet record is 2:22. So he's going for the meet record here. Getting the crowd excited, getting the crowd into it, the Olympic clap. We love to see that.
Oh,
Easy
yes.
as you like.
Yes.
Easy as you like. 217. So that bar, that'll go up, I guess, to the meet record. But one of the things that Hamish Kerr has to consider here is the amount of jumps. So you don't want to jump too much as a high jumper. Right. You don't want to be getting in 20, 30 jumps in a competition. So it may be that he aggressively moves up from here. Some action in the women's javelin throw where we'll see Tori Peters later tonight. She's got a best of around 62. That Olympic qualifier is 64. So there's some possible action we may want to follow there. But all of the action now on your screen, it's Tom Walsh. Position is, Rod, Jacko Gill leads 21-1-1. Tom's thrown a great foul and peppered around 20 metres. So he's under a bit of pressure here. He's already been beaten once by Jacko this season.
It's very exciting for this event to have these two legends.
Absolutely. It kind of harks back to, very good looking throw. We'll await the distance. It does hark back to your days as a middle distance runner here in New Zealand, where domestically there was all these great athletes and you pushed each other.
Yes.
Pushed each other up to that world-class standard. You know, if it hadn't have been for the Walkers and the Quacks and the numerous athletes just behind that level, would there have been a Rod Dixon?
Probably not.
Yeah.
We had a very, very strong club system.
Yep.
And within that, the competition, our club president was Harold Nelson, 1948 Olympian.
Fantastic, yes.
And our club captain was Kerry Williams, 5 times Australasian cross-country. So we had a lot of very powerful inspiration. And then when I finally got away to compete with the Quaxes and the Tony Polhills and the Kevin Ross and these people, then that inspired me for one more time just to know that the next step is going to be happening.
Yep. Well, and what's the next step in this exciting young man's career? So he's thrown 21.11 today. His personal best is 21.47. He's an Olympic finalist, Jacko Gill. And he is currently in front of Tom Walsh, the world champion. Can he take him out again? He's already beaten him once this season at the Night of Fives. And that's going to go left.
Nice technique.
Good technique. I was mentioning before to John, he's a very different athlete to Tom. Tom's very speed-based. Jacko more of a power-based thrower. Both great technique in their own right. Both gentlemen who respect each other. And that's the end of the competition.
Yep.
Great to see great sportsmanship there by Lisa Adams. And Tom shaking the officials' hands.
Exactly.
Really like to see that. That's a great example for our younger athletes, actually.
Yes.
These officials are all volunteers, give up their time to come out here and help the athletes compete. And it's at meets like this, but it's actually at hundreds of children's meets, secondary school meets, all around the country. They give up their time very generously to come and allow the athletes to compete. So This just makes my heart glow, can I
Yes,
tell you, Rod?
very important.
Yeah. And
Very important.
this man's going to make my heart glow if he gets up in that 2:30 range.
We want
tonight.
everybody.
Yep. Got to get that crowd going. He's good at working the crowd, Hamish Kerr. Oh, I think he just hit that with his leg, so he was actually clear and didn't quite whip it. Little tongue out, little bit of exasperation from Hamish Kerr, wearing his Christchurch Old Boys uniform.
Yes, I see
You
that.
mentioned the strength of the club scene back in your day. Tory Peters now, Hamilton City Hawks, throwing the javelin. Coached by Debbie Strange out of the Waikato, and wow, great throw out. Hard to tell what the distances are here with the various sectors, but it looks to be in that mid-50 range for the javelin. So her best is past that next white mark. That's 60, I believe. Oh, it's very hard to tell. Yep. So replay here. Doesn't bring a lot of speed into the release, but there's a lot of power and precision there. We've also got Ben Langton-Burnell in the men's javelin throw, part of the same training group. New Zealand, of course, a long history with the javelin, 54-28 in the second rounds for Tory Peters. So during your days, it would have been, now was it Mickey O'Rourke?
Yes.
Who would have been the javelin thrower primarily through your era?
Yes.
Would have you been on a few teams with him?
Yes, we travelled quite a bit with Mike.
Mike, apologies.
Yes, Mike O'Rourke was very heavily influenced by the Finnish athletes when they came here for the track concerto moves, which was the South Pacific Television Pan Am track series. And Mike was able to spend a lot of time with the Finns and some of the Europeans, and that passed on to the system.
Great. And clear over at 2:23, and we're about to get some action in the men's 200 metres. So we're going to thank Rod Dixon very much for his time and bring back in Zach Topping to help us call these fantastic sprint races. Thank you, Rod Dixon, legend of New Zealand athletics. Yeah, and Joseph Miller and Eddie Nikisha are going head-to-head. Hamish Gill's right in there. Tell us about it, Zach.
Not working, is it?
Yeah,
go.
You're on.
Damn. Just missed that. That's good.
So Eddie Osei Nikisha takes the win there from Joseph Miller. We're going to wait and see the time. I do believe it was Hamish Gill in third. A bit of a rough transition there, but great to have you back in to call the sprints. What do you see here?
Yeah, I was really looking forward to watching this because Hamish Gill, a bit of a wild card there because we didn't see him in the 100 metres, but yeah, we know he can run a really good 200, but look, Eddie's even slowing up there.
And there is Tommy Tapuni of the North Harbour Bays Club coming up to grab second.
Damn.
So the win, Eddie Osei Inkatea, 21.22. Tommy Tapuni,
takes
son
second
of a former national high jump record holder, Mr. Tapuni. He's second in 21.42. Joseph Miller getting pipped, 21.43 in third. Hamish Gill, former national champion over 200, can only grab fourth today in 21.55.
Yeah.
Great running.
Yeah, those times pretty good. All under 21 mid. Yeah, it was really unfortunate just running into the booth to look at the bend there.
Look, we got you in for the replay, and we've got you in for this women's 200, which is next.
Also watching down in Hamish doing the high jump too. He's got the crowd pumped. Clapping him through to 2:23, was that?
Yeah, 2:23, a new stadium record for Hamish Kerr. So fantastic stuff. And the women's 200, Adria Collette of Palmerston North, Natasha Eadie, the class of this field, North Harbour Bays Athletics, well coached by Elena Brown, Annalise Karma, more known as a 400-metre runner from Te Araha, Chalet Collette of Palmerston North Athletics, and Hannah Maloney.
Yeah, we're interesting to see Adria and Shalil. They this is one of their first meets. They're quite young from Palmerston North. They train really well together. They're actually competing with their father for better times at the moment. So
fantastic to see.
Their father's jumped in to start running against them. going for good times. One of them just ran a PB in the 100 metres, so should be looking to a PB in the 200 as well.
Great stuff. And so the class of the field really is Natasha Eadie from North Harbour Bays.
Yeah, looks a favourite. I actually saw Hannah Maloney watching the high jump, so I don't think she'll be there in lane 7.
So there you see in the all-black uniform, 129 Natasha Eadie. In lane 4.
Yeah, we'll expect to see her at the front the majority of the way.
So she's got a personal best of 23.35. And she's going to be very interested in running as fast as she can here.
The wind's looking really good.
Interestingly, she's had a lane change.
They probably were adjusting for Hannah not being there.
Yes, very good.
Yeah, we've got like a nice tailwind down the straight, so it'll be really good for PB weather. That last one was a 2.5 plus, so unfortunately can't count those towards records or rankings, but we might get lucky.
So to the blocks now. So Natasha Eadie has the advantage of having some pretty capable girls on the outside of her there.
She actually got identical twins, lane 6, lane 3.
Fantastic to see out of the Palmerston North Club. And Natasha Eadie, what a start.
She's out of there.
Absolutely pulls in Annalise Karma from Te Araha, pulls her in the first couple of metres. So she's all on her own here, Natasha Eadie.
Yep, she's going to have to get ahead in the game and just focus on that form rather than anyone else. She's got no one to chase. No one chasing her, and she pumped that, and a big dip too, so she'll be looking for a good time there.
Yeah, we'll await the official time, but Natasha Eadie, comfortable winner here in the Unichem Wanganui Pharmacy 200 metres. So personal best of 23.35 set very early on in the season. So we see Hamish Kerr unsuccessful on his first attempt at, I'm going to guess that's 2:27, and 23.94 for Natasha Eadie. How does that stack up? So you're 0.6.
Yeah, you'd be happy.
You
surely be happy around this time of the season. I mean, we've still got months to come, and it is hard running by yourself out there. I'm sure she would have looked at the field and been quite comfortable, thinking that she's going to win that one. So, no, it's good. Look, really happy to see that Hamish is out there too. I've had a chat with him beforehand, and he is really keen to give this a go. He's going to keep on pushing to go as high as he can today. He's got a big fan club behind him as well, and it looks like the crowd's getting behind his claps as well. He's getting himself pumped up. Looks like we got Tori up. I'm not quite sure what she's throwing at the moment, but she looked pretty good down there. And there it goes. Oh, looking good. That red marker is looking pretty close.
Yeah,
it's
well, it's very misleading. So that red marker there, that's close to it. I think that's the hammer throw.
Oh, man.
But then there is a javelin throw red marker. That record belongs to one Kirsten Hallier. So the Athletics New Zealand Coach Development Lead holds the stadium record here.
Okay, so we're looking at going to the 200 metres again for the B race. Hamish lining up again, looking for that clap. Get him hyped up. Missed their first one, so second attempt at 2:27. PB of 2:31, I believe. Ooh, very close. Definitely high enough. And he'll be looking to, just pop a little bit more onto that one. He's got a few coaches actually on the side there. I know James Sandilands, he was in the 100 metres, and hurdler as well, is giving him some advice on the side. Looks like they will be focusing on his speed running, I believe. Is that Lexi Maples throwing? As you said, yep. She transitioning a bit to throws. So good to see her. How'd you go on the hammer throw in the end?
Yeah, not bad. Peppering around that 50-metre mark. She also competed in the shot put, getting out towards the 10-metre zone, and now across to the javelin. So I guess she was formerly a multi-eventer, so used to juggling across many, many events.
It's nice just having a look at the B race for the 200 metre men. Looks like they're starting to have a look at their blocks. Having a few practice starts there. Looks like there is the 800 metre women's coming up too.
Yeah, that should be a very exciting race.
All right, looks like they're in their blocks for the 200 metres and they're off. Looks like we've only got 3 runners here instead of the planned 6. But
Yeah, a little bit disappointing.
yeah, just maybe injuries pop up all the time during warm-up, and Jake Paul looks like he's coming off the bend real nice here. Can he hold it though is the question.
Very nice
Yes,
running
very
from
nice,
Jake
yeah.
Paul. I
It's
really
been a
like
nice
that
straight.
technique.
Form's staying, very good there, and a little dip. Nice, he'll be looking for a time. Again, maybe we should have popped him up in the A grade. He would have liked that a bit more, but we're, 23.24 for Ben, 22.39 for Jake.
Not too bad. Not bad running at all.
No, exactly. It was good to see some of those Palmerston North girls in the 400 metres.
Yeah, great to see. I was saying, and here's Hamish
Yes,
Kerr. So
nice.
this is his 3rd attempt here. And do we know what the height is?
It was 2:27 before.
So 2:27. Already
Looks
cleared
like
the
he's getting
stadium
pumped.
record, and this is up around PB territory for Hamish Kerr.
Yes.
Oh.
There, and the crowd goes wild.
The crowd likes that very much.
And the sun's starting to go down here, changing the setting here. So now it's looking real pretty,
Yeah, look,
just like that jump.
2:27, and that's, don't underrate that 2:27. You go to a lot of major meets, and 2:27 is going to put you in the top 5 or 6
Huge.
competitors. A huge jump from our world-class high jumper, Hamish Kerr.
Do we see those finger guns? Every time he gets a jump that he's happy with, he usually gets his finger guns out and gives them a little... No, we haven't seen those yet. So
Shoots them off.
yeah, well, hopefully we'll get to see a bit more of those fingers coming out. I know we got quite a lot of people watching at home, especially for the high jump, so shout out to all them.
Yeah, fantastic to see.
Right, what do we got here? It's another 200 metres stacking up. Looks like we've got 4 runners in this one.
Yeah, so another heat of the men's 200 metres. So that's Finn O'Sullivan from Christchurch Old Boys there, and then 3 athletes from the Hastings Athletics Club, Liam Kilby, Logan Woods, and Ryan Shotter.
Oh, so a few Hastings boys in here. They'll be used to running against each other.
Yeah, how can the athletes from Christchurch Old Boys, Finn O'Sullivan, go?
It's looking really good on the outside. Getting into that hard bit of the 200 metres. Oh, some good flare coming in from second place there. Closing out. But yep, led from start to finish. That was Ryan Shotter, I believe. Good work.
Yeah, 23.23, Ryan Shotter there. And so the action now, we're going to turn our attention in the next few minutes back to the distance stuff. So we've got the women's mile, the Junior Men's Athletics New Zealand Championships, so the championship for under 20 athletes, and of course the highlighted event of the night, the mile championships for women and men. It's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, it was a very tactical race there from the mile away, and these boys get barred up for that. And it's interesting to see. I didn't see Nick Willis on the paper here.
No, so Nick Willis is in the States, back in the States with his family. He recently ran a sub-4-minute mile in Florida, becoming the first person in the world to run a sub-4-minute mile every year for 19 years.
That's huge.
Pretty impressive. So the record he broke was 18 years, which was held by John Walker. And so at 37 years of age, Nick Willis has run a sub-4-minute mile every year of his life since he was 18. And in fact, he could have done it a bit younger. I think he ran like a 4:01 when he was 17.
Looks like there, Georgia and Courtney there having a bit of a laugh before their 200 metres. Georgia used to be at Palmerston North, so probably just catching up, having a bit of a
yarn. And here's Tori Peters in the Javelin. What is she up to this time? That one looks pretty good. But again, just
over 50,
peppering around that 50-metre mark. She's a quality thrower, Tori Peters. Best out around that 62-metre mark.
Yeah, the wind will be actually not too bad for Javelin today. Going into a headwind kind of holds the Javelin up a bit. Some like to throw into the tail, some into head, so I wonder what Tori's feeling about the wind today. Looks like Hamish is going up to 2:31 for his next jump, which is actually his PB.
Yeah, that's exciting. So personal best of 2:30. So this would be an outright New Zealand record. Currently, co-holds that record with Glenn Howard. So to get that record outright would be a fantastic achievement. He's got his sweats on and he's just stripping off now. So he's going to try and get that crowd revved up.
Yeah, all the high jumpers seem to bring their own blanket. Have a bit of a slumber party underneath the tent most times. Gets pretty chilly in between jumps.
Yeah, I've always been a bit jealous of jumpers in that regard. They just they tend to have quite a relaxed attitude towards or in between their performances.
Yeah, get nice and cozy and chill out into the next jump.
Yeah, so as a runner, it was just a meet was just a bunch of anxiety, and then you perform or not, and then it's all over and often disappointment. So
right, here we go. Hamish there, giving a bit of fist bumps before him to his mates. I think that's Ra coming all the way from Whakatane to see him. So let's get this clap going. You clapping, Hamish?
Well, it'd be unprofessional to clap from the commentary booth, Zach. But I'm glad we're here to call this one together. We see Tony Rogers in the background. Oh. Now, you know more about high jump than me, Zach Topping, so break that one down for me. We'll probably see a bit of a replay here.
Well, I mean, your knowledge of high jump must be pretty low because I'm not the best. I'm not the best. I mean, watched a bit.
Yeah,
but,
so he didn't get his hand up over
let's
it.
have a quick look at the replay, eh? I mean, I've done high jump before in a decathlon, but it was my worst event apart from the hurdles.
What did you high jump, Zach?
We won't go into that. But
probably
it was
doing
my
scissors
second
jump.
worst points in there, so it was pretty horrific.
Was the 1,500 metres the worst?
Nah, it was 110 hurdles actually.
Oh, yes, okay.
Because those things are too high.
Yeah, they are.
Hip mobility
You've
is not good enough.
You've got to be like 6, 7 to run those things well.
Winning up into the first hurdle, unfortunately. But
I heard an interesting theory. I won't say where it came from, but I heard an interesting theory the other day that Hamish Kerr could actually be a great 110 hurdler and two-step in between the hurdles.
Yes,
because he's so tall and athletic.
He will quite happily tell you about that.
Yeah.
But he's actually got a good 100 on him too.
What does he run for a hundy?
He would run low 11s, really low 11s, and he's quite proud of his start, and that's quite a big thing for a lanky boy.
Well, he's a very explosive athlete. So well coached, obviously, by Terry Lomax out of Christchurch Old Boys United, Athletics New Zealand performance coach. But before that, he was with Ann Thompson in Palmerston North, right? So,
yeah, he had a good stint in Palmerston North. That's where we got to know Hamish a bit more, and just different coaching styles. You pick up bits and pieces here and there. I think Anne helped him to a certain height. I won't say what it was, because I don't know. But after a while, he had to move on.
We see Ben Langdon Bennell there.
He's got the whole sport crew.
Yeah, it's fantastic stuff and fantastic camaraderie amongst these athletes. And we see the field now for the Athletics New Zealand Women's 1 Mile Championship. The first 1 Mile Championship to be held. You're going to stick with us for a while, Zach.
Sweet as,
John Bowden's gone running a few errands for me. I may have hypothetically left some medals at home, and we were searching the hotel room. So I might be in a bit of trouble when I'm back at work on Wednesday. But anyway, the field for this mile we'll wait for, because here's Hamish Kerr attempting 1:31.
It looked like he slowed down a little bit there. Don't know what happened with that, but it looks like he's bowing out.
Yeah, so the crowd's acknowledging that jump, that 2:27. Good performance, and they're calling them over for the start of this women's mile as Tori Peters is on the runway. We've got a big field, so we're going to watch Tori throw, but I'm going to go through this mile field. Camille Buscombe, potentially the favourite from Hamilton City Hawks. Kimberly May of Auckland City Athletics. Another throw around that 50 mark for Tori Peters. Peyton Lee of Auckland City Athletics, Catherine Camp. Probably you'd describe Catherine as the co-favourite alongside Camille. She's from the University of Canterbury Club. Got Jemima Antoniazzi of Hamilton City Hawks. Cara McDermott of Palmerston North Athletics Club just picked up a national title last weekend over 3,000 metres. Anika Grogan of North Harbour Bays. Kerry White of Te Araha. Susanna Lynch of the Olympic Club. Amelia Harris, also of the Olympic Club. Macy Hilton of Auckland City Athletics. Penelope Salmon completing the field from Eastern Athletics. 52.25 for Tori Peters in the 5th round.
55, oh yeah. It's getting up there.
Getting up there, improving as she goes along. She's got one more throw left in this competition. It's been fantastic stuff in the field events tonight. But the action is going to turn to the track for the rest of the evening. And this Women's Mile Championship, the first mile championship since 1969. And it's going to be hotly contested between Catherine Camp, Camille Buscombe and Cara McDermott.
Cheeky stride out to keep warm. Looks like they're delaying it a little bit, probably for the high jump. Hamish's last jump here.
Yep. And so we are having a third attempt here. 2:31, national record attempt from Hamish Kerr. Oh, he's good for that sort of height. We know he's got a little more in him, Hamish Kerr, but he's not going to be able to give it tonight.
He's got to be happy with 2:27.
2:27, a stadium record, and here at an Oceania permit meet, he's going to be picking up some pretty good points for 2:27, so he should be pleased.
Yeah, he's done it by himself again, so he doesn't get as much break in between each jump. No. I don't know if some people prefer that, some people don't.
Oh, look, I mean, at the very least, it's less than ideal because that's not what happens at a major championship. So, but you are right. By the time he starts jumping, most of the other jumpers are out of the competition. We've got some very pensive-looking athletes on the start line of this women's mile.
Interesting to see how this starts, yeah?
Yeah, personal best of 4:37 for Camille Buscombe.
Who's going to take control?
Stadium record here belongs to one Lucy Van Dalen.
I saw her actually walking around.
Yes.
With the family.
Well, was it Lucy or Holly? Oh, they're twins, you know.
Well, there you go. Yeah, call me out there.
I think it was Lucy. And it'll be interesting to see who takes the pace, and it's the athlete from Hamilton City Hawks, Kerry White, who's listed as a Te Araha athlete, but is wearing the Hamilton City Hawks kit. Looks like she is going to lead them out with a solid pace here in the Women's 1 Mile Championship.
Looks like two groups forming already, with one between trying to hang on.
Yeah, so we've got Kerry White leading Camille Buscombe, Catherine Camp, Cara McDermott. We've got one of the athletes from Olympic hanging on there at the moment as well. But those five are clearly distinguishing themselves as the quality of the field. So that's Susanna Lynch in 5th at the moment. And then Anika Grogan in 6th. Little bit of a gap. Can she bridge that back gap to get back onto these top 5?
She'll really want to hang on there, otherwise she's going to have a rough time running by herself. She's got a big gap between the back group and the front group, and she's stuck in between there.
Let's see what the split is here. Anything under 70 seconds is pretty good stuff for a mile. And going through that lap in about 69.70, so not bad. Kind of 4:40 pace. Camille Buscombe will want to go a little quicker than that. You see that reflected. Camille Buscombe right up on her heels. And Catherine Camp is allowing a little bit of a gap to develop. It's very interesting stuff here with Kerry White taking the pace early on.
Yeah, Cara's going to have to make a decision soon. Hang on to Kat or make a move, and it looks like she is actually going to do that right now. As I'm saying that, she's looking for Camille to jump on her heels because it looks like they're making a move. So, yeah, Cara's wanting to stick in there in top 3. She's going to have to hang on to Camille here. Kerry's making a bit of a dash to hold on to.
Yeah, very interesting move. Kerry White there kind of
taking it
stepping out, but then trying to maybe take the lead back a little bit. And Cara McDermott has come onto the heels of Camille Buscombe.
Yeah, it looks like Kerry's trying to be a bit aggressive, not letting that number 1 spot get away from her.
Yeah, interesting tactics here, if indeed they are tactics, but we're through the 800 in approximately 2:19, so it gives them a bit of a platform to launch from. Cara McDermott has a personal best of 4:39.
Just pacing. Yep, so
well, unallowed to pace in a national championship, so she's decided to pull out.
Oh, right, I see.
But Camille Buscombe now and Cara McDermott with a 10-metre gap back to Catherine Camp. So those three athletes showing out early. Don't discount Susanna Lynch from Olympics. She's sitting in fourth at the moment. Anika Grogan, a bit of a gap back to her in fifth place. Cara McDermott looking strong.
Yeah, she got her first senior title in the 3,000, was it, last Classic. So, yeah, she'll be looking, it's a bit of a dip from her usual distance, but, yeah, she'll be looking to hang on, and she's got great work ethic. She's a Palmy girl, so she's always been like that. Always see her down at the track and really giving it her all during training, so we'll see if it...
Yeah, she's a fantastic athlete. Camille Buscombe, of course, has qualified for the Olympics over 5,000 and 10,000 metres, but Cara McDermott doesn't seem to be phasing her at all as they come up with one lap to go. The bell's at 3:32. What can these two ladies close in? What sort of speed can they bring to bear on this last lap? The gap back to Catherine Camp is now 30 metres easily. So Catherine Camp, in fact, needs to watch out.
Yeah, she's going to have to pick it up a bit because it's closing. She's closing the gap every lap.
Yeah, Susanna Lynch from Olympic. That would be a huge scalp if she can get Catherine Camp.
That's really closing up.
Well, all of the action is at the front. They've really increased the pace here. Camille Buscombe. Now the rubber band is starting to stretch.
Yep.
Can Cara McDermott respond?
Oh, she's really picking there.
Wow. Every 4 or 5 strides, Camille Buscombe is gaining an extra metre on Cara McDermott. Can Cara respond in the last 150? Yeah.
Looks like Camille's got lots of gas left for this last 100 metres, but
Cara's
really pushing.
A little grimace on her face. It's not so much about the time here, it's about the national title, the first Athletics New Zealand mile title since 1969 goes to Camille Buscombe, 4:39. Cara McDermott takes the silver medal. Catherine Camp from the University of Canterbury coming through for third place. Absolutely fantastic running there, and a great run from Susanna Lynch of the Olympic Club.
Big push for position there, taking it. Nice.
Yeah, great running, and great to have you back in the commentary booth, Zach Topping. Really appreciate you coming in to provide some expert analysis this afternoon, especially after having run a pretty decent 100-metre opener earlier in the program. So hopefully it's been the first time. Hopefully it won't be the last time, mate.
Yeah, well, we've been struggling the last couple of years just with injuries here and there, and kind of been given a half-assed season each time. So it's nice to... I was planning on not running this season again, but I've decided to just give it one last nationals and started training, and just because I miss it, miss the training, miss the fun, and miss the racing too.
Well, we look very much to seeing you at Nationals, Zach, and hopefully we'll see you again in the commentary booth.
Cool.
Thank you very much for your time.
Have a good.
Cool. And so confirmation of that men's shot put result, Jacko Gill taking the win in 21.11 from Tom Walsh, who got out to 20.79. A huge scalp there for Jacko Gill, taking out the world champion for the second time this domestic season. That'll be huge for his confidence heading into nationals, which are going to be held at Sports Park in Hastings the weekend of the 5th to the 7th of March. If you're in the Hawke's Bay area, you may want to get down and check out the action. Head along to our website, www.athletics.org.nz, for all the information on that event, the Athletics New Zealand Track and Field Championships, brought to you by Jenny and Holmes. Tickets will be available shortly. Welcome back into the commentary booth, John Bowden. John, you've been running around trying to cover for me. We won't give any details. So thanks for your attempt. And
good teamwork.
Yep. So we're heading now to a very exciting and a very full field for the junior men's 3,000 metre championship. So this is the Athletics New Zealand under 20 3,000 metre championship. I was looking through doing a little bit of research on this, and there's a bunch of athletes all kind of grouped around that 8:20, 8:30, 8:40. There's one standout, though. Last weekend at the Athletics New Zealand Senior Championships, a young athlete by the name of Will Anthony ran 8:16.
I saw that.
Which, for a junior, let me tell you, that is fantastic running. So we're going to keep an eye out for Will. He's number 201 from the Olympic Club.
And I think we've also got the New Zealand secondary school champion in the field over 3,000 metres, which he won at Tauranga. Is that correct? Am I correct in that? I think?
You probably are correct. You'd have to tell me the athlete's name. Would it be Zane Powell?
Yes,
perhaps?
it is.
Zane Powell from Pakuranga.
Now, there, in the shot there at 290, he
yes,
did the double, I think.
Yeah, he won the 8 and 15, so 290 in the white, red and blue of Pakuranga. One of New Zealand's, actually, it's unequivocal, New Zealand's largest athletics club, but definitely one of the best as well. So this junior men's 3,000 is going to be very exciting. It's interesting to go through this list. So as a junior, I think my best was around 8:52. It's got to be about, and I got fourth in this event as a junior running 8:52. I can assure you 8:52 won't get a sniff of the medals today. These kids are fast. They're a lot faster than my generation coming through, and it gives us a lot of hope for the future.
Absolutely, and then look, it's faster in my generation, which is probably when the ARC was around, but I know the Australians and their counterpart, the famous Rob Di Castella, won this prestigious 3,000 metre race as a junior in Australia, along with our top athletes. So the 3,000 was a great indicator, really, for the 1,500 or the steeplechase or the 5K for later on, and the juniors are really taking this event to heart, and there's some phenomenal times, phenomenal races. I think Zane also won the secondary school 3K time, about 8:31 at Tauranga, in windy conditions, I must add.
And that's his PB, so he's probably ready to go a little faster than that. So that battle between him and Will Anthony from Olympic will be very interesting.
Yes, and look, there's Andre Hernandez in the field, I believe he is. He was fourth last year, so I guess he'll be at least wanting to get one place better and get that bronze medal or better.
Yep.
So he's back in the field, and so therefore, a pretty young field again. I heard you talking with Rod how young the 800 metre race was, and obviously all these young men are under 20, but some are 16, 17, 18, 19. So it's for possibly some of them might want to make the world cross country team, which is back in Sydney.
Fingers crossed, COVID pending.
In February of next year in Sydney. So some of these young athletes will want to be in the junior team.
Yep. And a little bit of a promo down there in the corner for the Sir Graham Douglas International, which is coming up on the 27th of February at Waitakere Trust Stadium in Auckland. And then, as I mentioned, the Jenny and Holmes New Zealand Track and Field Championships, March 5th through 7th in Hawke's Bay.
Yeah, look, two great meets a week apart, so it's great for our athletes and we're so lucky with COVID that they can compete at an international meet the week before the New Zealand Championships. So,
well, look, and if you want to, we're very blessed here in New Zealand. We have a number of world-class athletes. So, I'm not just being frivolous and as commentators often do, kind of overstating things. You're actually coming down to watch some of the best athletes in the world. Valerie Adams will be there, Tom Walsh, Jacko Gill, Hamish Kerr, Eddie Osei Nketiah. The list goes on.
And all our para athletes. They're world class.
The quality of our para program, I could talk extensively about that, of course. We're very, very lucky at the moment here in Athletics New Zealand to have such a great bunch. And the emerging athletes, one of whom we're going to see in the mile later tonight, or two of whom, Sam Tanner and George Beamish, fantastic athletes who we'll talk more about soon. But you can tell in my voice, I'm very excited about these meets. But I'm excited about this 3K. We've got Deb Fern starting us off, a fantastic starter out of the Taranaki.
And here we go. It's going to be a fantastic New Zealand Championship.
Well, it's going to be interesting, John, to see what happens with the pace here. So the wind It hasn't completely died down,
No,
but
it hasn't.
I wouldn't say it's a strong win by any stretch of the imagination. It's not going to blow these guys around. And a little unsteady. Now, as I mentioned, Deb Fern is she's a quality starter. She's well trained. She's not going to handle she's not going to take any monkey business.
No, I've tried that starting at the Northern Territory Athletic Championships along with the great Patrick. I'll think of it. So he's the only man who run under 10 seconds in Australia. Him and I.
Patrick Johnson.
We both tried our hand at starting and severely got told off for not being in the correct position. So it's not an easy. Everybody thinks it's an easy job, but Debbie's got these away, and again looking at a tactical race already.
Yeah,
after the first 200, like the young woman that ran previously about an hour ago.
Yeah, Henry Bellevay from Wellington Harrier Athletic Club, leading, and
there's Zane, I think, going to the front. He's had enough after 200 already.
Yeah, Zane Powell saying, "Yep, it's okay to go slow, but I want to be in charge. I'm the big dog in town. I'm going to dictate things around here." Although he's going to have a hard job to lead this race for the entire 7 laps. He won't want to do that. He's got amongst the best speed in this field. I wouldn't say he's the fastest kicker. Keep an eye out for Karzan Vesti. Just broke 2 minutes for the first time last weekend from the Hastings Club.
Yeah, look, it's all a bit of a worry, isn't it, when you lead that early in a championship race, because you're the hunted, and you've got to be very confident to do what Zane's doing, which is what I love about these great young men. They're confident in their own ability, their race plan, and Zane's decided that's what he has to do.
And I'm beginning to doubt. I think Will Anthony might have been a scratching, so I don't see 201 from the Olympic Club. There is another Olympic athlete in the field.
Might be a late scratching, which
so that's
we didn't hear about.
Jordan Cresswell, and he's, but he is not in that league pack, so it looks like Will Anthony may not be there. From the Hamilton City Hawks, though, that's Ben Bedos, number 211, and about second. Athlete from Egmont in third. That's McCullum Rowe. So Ben Bidwar, I'm going to say, Hamilton City Hawks in second. He's got a best of 8:37. So really, he is within cooey of Zane Powell. So Zane Powell's not going to be able to completely dictate this race and drop
run away
these guys.
From the field.
No,
And look, there's a good bunch there getting into their rhythm, into their work early on, and saving energy, concentrating on breathing, being nice and relaxed, ready for the hard laps ahead. So they don't want to waste energy in the first 3 or 4 laps as normal. You want to, especially with the race to start at lap 5 usually. Anyway, it's a good rhythm. Zane's still maintaining his lead, which is good to see.
And he doesn't look too uncomfortable here in front. And I think what you're going to slowly see is he will ratchet up the pressure as we go along. He's not going to want to go into the final 800 with these 10 guys around him.
No, it's a bit dangerous at a national championship. It gives everybody hope that they can use their sprint.
Yeah, and a little bit of inspiration can be a dangerous thing in distance running. That's where the bolters can come from. We think of Venusti Nyangabo in the 96 Olympic 5,000 metres, who came from absolutely nowhere to take the gold.
Absolutely. And then, obviously, when Nick Willis ran one of the slowest times ever for the bronze or silver at the Olympics in 3:51, I thought I might make a comeback, Hamish. But finally realised I couldn't run under 50 seconds for the last 400. So it's all out of it. We've got a lot of talent in this field, despite Will perhaps not being there. So it does maybe put a different complexion on the race where Zane decided, oh, look, I can lead. He's not here. I don't have to worry about him.
And that man I mentioned earlier in 4th place, Carson Vesti of Hastings.
Yeah.
So an
nice
800 PB just last week at the Potts Classic. His actual PB, not flash at all over this 3,000 metre distance. But if these guys don't go, they've got to watch the man with speed in 4th place.
Yeah, he'll be loving this.
So we're down to a group of about 8 now, though. So clearly the pace has increased. They'll be running about 70-second laps at the moment. But as I say, I mean, this is a bunch of athletes who are far advanced from what I was as a junior running this race in 8:54.
Yeah, dare I say that they're actually much more professional. They love their sport.
Yes.
Most of them are good students of the game and of athletics. They know, so they know they've got traditions to follow, and all of them are well coached, and we're getting that depth in good coaching. And again, a lot will be looking perhaps for scholarships.
Yes.
To go to, or if you want to go to America with the way COVID is over there, probably not. But there's still opportunities for them, and so every race counts. And here we have a new leader.
3 laps to go now. It's the athlete from Egmont, McCullum Rowe, taking the lead. Little bit of a tumble back there, but there's still 8 in this lead pack if they can all hang together. But like I say, coming up with now 1 kilometre to go. What's going to happen here, John? They're going to drop this last K in under 2:40, I can tell you that.
Yeah, look, they still... I mean, somebody's taken the lead. He's actually started to stretch out, and even Zane is struggling with this pace a little bit. There's a little bit of a gap there between 1 and 2, but not
interesting.
Enough.
Yeah.
Not enough. He's still...
So, McCullum Rowe from Ben Bidwar and Zane Powell in third. The athlete from Christchurch Avon in fourth at the moment. That'll be Cameron Clark. Tall, lanky figure of Cameron Clark. He looks comfortable in fourth.
Yes. And look, and it's still a big bunch. We've still got, 2 laps to go?
Yep.
Coming into the home straight for the third to last time. So, and they're still there.
Second to last time. I might be.
No, 2 laps. It's 6 minutes and 17 seconds.
Yep,
so
2 laps to go. 2 laps to go. Fantastic. So it's all about how fast you can close this last 800 metres. It's still 7 in the lead. There's only 3 medals to give out tonight, John.
Yeah, that's a bit of a worry, isn't it? And unfortunately, every race, there's some going to miss out, and they thought they had the tactics right, and all of a sudden, no, I did not. So it's still a close bunch still with 600 to go.
One of these athletes, and it might be our athlete, McCullum Rowe from Egmont, who's laying down the pace here. But if you don't have the speed, now's the time. You need to be moving. You can't leave it to the last lap if you can't run 55 seconds, which we know Zane Powell is more than capable of.
Yeah, he's covering his bases at the moment, making sure.
Getting into a good position as we see Cameron Clark from Christchurch Avon nudge into the lead. They're going to come up to lap a runner now, which is going to create a little bit of an interesting tactical situation with 7 in that bunch. They've got to be careful here. They've got to be smart. 450 metres to go, John.
Yes, and I think...
Cameron Clark's moving. Race. Cameron Clark's moving, so Zane Powell.
So the lap to go at 7:34, so...
And Ben Bidwar, Cameron Clark, Zane Powell, athlete from Egmont, don't discount him, McCullum Rowe. He's done a lot of work. He's not going to want to let that medal slip out of his hands, but Cameron Clark is laying down the pace with 300 to go.
It's a great race so far, and they're covering each other. Both look relaxed.
They do look very relaxed, stride for stride here. They've put 6 metres on Ben Bidwar of the Hamilton City Hawks Club. So it's going to come down to Cameron Clark and Zane Powell. The last 150 now. They're stride for stride. They're very close, John. We didn't call this. We didn't talk about Cameron Clark. But he's holding.
He's holding on. He's pulled away.
He's got to get it, John.
He is.
Christchurch Avon, stand up. Cameron Clark, your Athletics New Zealand Junior
champion.
3,000 metre champion. A great time and a big PB there for Cameron Clark. His time coming into this was only 8:47. We talked about a bolter. We talked about the danger of inspiration.
And going too slow, perhaps.
Yeah.
Because everybody's out. That's a fantastic, well-run, well-designed plan by the coach and the athlete, and a PB by massive.
Well, we didn't even talk about Cameron Clark until the last 600
I apologise.
He ran a great race. He was in the pack. He was saving a lot of energy, and then when he made his move...
He made it, and it counted.
And he timed it very, very well. Able to hold that kick all the way to the finish. Fantastic. Beating Zane Powell, the secondary schools champion. That's a big scalp.
It is.
Let's see that time when it comes up. It's around the 8:32 mark, so we'll wait for the official timing. Huge field of 17 athletes in this race.
Great to see. Great night for... a 7.5 a lap. race.
Well, it's a great night for a 4-lap race, which is coming up next, John, and it's going to be an absolute pleasure to call this one. It has potential to be the fastest mile on New Zealand soil in many, many years. Official time in, Cameron Clark of Christchurch Avon takes the win in 8:32.02. Stand up, Christchurch Avon, a great club from the Garden City. Zane Powell taking second in 8:34.91. And Ben Bidwar of Hamilton City Hawks in third, 8:36.72. Jordan Cresswell, strong finish from Jordan Cresswell. Great to see. And make no mistake, still a very handy time for an athlete of his age.
Absolutely.
Fourth place, McCullum Rowe just missing out on the medals in 8:38. So a very good run from him. Great to see. Rod Dixon talked a lot about the talents of these young athletes. As we see the results in the women's shot put, Lisa Adams, 15.49. So that's absolutely fantastic, throwing just 1 centimetre off her world record, the F37 world champion out of Lake City Athletics in Rotorua. Must be very proud to have a world champion down there.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, she's really getting consistent around, she's pushing her own boundaries, pushing the record to make it really out of reach, I think, for a lot of athletes now. So, and she's got more to give.
And she threw a great series tonight. So often what you see is someone will come and throw a great series and get close. And then the next competition or the competition after that, they're really going to pop it out. So it's exciting stuff. As we head in now to the final race of the evening, the Athletics New Zealand Mile Championships, the Pack and Save Sir Peter Snell New Zealand 1 Mile Championship, an Oceania permit event with a huge field, but a very impressive field. James Preston, he's got a 3:46 1500, better known as an 800 guy. Isaac Murphy. There we see Hayden Wild from Whakatane Athletics, better known as a triathlete. We're going to see him at the Olympics in the triathlon, but he's done some fantastic running. Matthew Taylor from North Harbour Bays, Daniel Roswell of Christchurch Avon, Eric Speakman, a personal best of 3:57.3 from Napier, George Beamish, who we talked about, local boy from Wanganui, NCAA champion, personal best of 3:56.9, Tom Mulai of Canterbury, Hamish Carson is a scratch, and we've got Samuel Tanner, possibly the favourite from Athletics Tauranga, 3:58.41. Angus Wymus of Nelson, Nian McDonald of Scottish, Liam Lamb of Wairarapa, Benjamin Wall of Palmerston North, Ollie Chignell, better known as a longer distance runner. His best is only 4:19. That's going to go today from Hill City Athletics. Zach Bellamy of Hinimoa, Noah McDermott of Palmerston North, and Julian Oakley, perhaps the one that we haven't talked about enough, Julian Oakley from Athletics Tauranga, a personal best of 3:55.1.
Yeah, look, a great depth, a great field, some experience there with Julian Oakley and Eric Speakman and the young gun Samuel Tanner.
Yep.
Hayden, throw him in the mix. Because
let's talk about Hayden quickly. So he ran a 7:55 3,000 metres. He had a crack at the Olympic qualifier over 5,000 metres. He didn't quite get it, but he did look good for about 10 laps.
Yep.
He's our national cross-country champion.
And he did go for the world record, just missed it on a windy night at Mount Smart Stadium in Auckland for the
1 hour.
The 1 hour record. So
went for Bill Bailey's New Zealand record there. So, but is the mile too short for Hayden?
I think it is.
Yeah.
I think there's too many speedsters, and some of them that ran that 5,000 were also in this field. And, the mile's totally different from what Hayden's used to. But look, he is such an athlete, along with 3 or 4 others that we've mentioned already. So that's why it's going to be a competitive race. They all good friends.
Yeah.
But different from my day where you kind of kept to yourself. I think it's a better change that they train together, they find races, they're getting well coached. Craig Kirkwood, of course, is coaching Samuel and Hayden.
Yeah.
So there's some...
Well, and we're here in Cook's Garden, the home of the mile in New Zealand. You've got a list in front of you, John.
Look, just to tell the viewers, there's a great Peter Snell there, in honour of him. And look, there's been 65 sub-4 minute miles here at Cooks, and we're going to see numbers 66, 67, 68 hopefully.
Yep.
So 65. It started, Nick Willis actually has got the fastest time here ever, way back in 2006 when he beat the great Buster Mottram in 3:52. But the first man to do it at Cook's Garden was our famous Peter Snell, and it was a world record at the time. And I remember as a kid, my dad got a little, and sorry viewers, showing my age, it was a little 45 record. So if vinyl records are coming back, it was a smaller version of those, for those that are listening. And my dad made me listen to the commentary of Peter Snell getting this world record here at Cooks in 3:54.4, which was a world record way back in January the 27th, 1962. So very close when you think it's now January the 30th, 2021.
Yeah.
And Peter's got the fastest time here.
Yeah, and our thoughts go out to Sir Peter Snell's family. Of course, we lost Sir Peter Snell in 2020, a patron of Athletics New Zealand and triple Olympic gold medalist, perhaps the greatest middle distance runner of all time. And it's fitting that this event is the Pack and Save Sir Peter Snell New Zealand 1 Mile Championship.
Absolutely. Look, this longer I could go on, but it's a who's who of middle distance running in Australia, New Zealand, even overseas that have run here because of the mystique.
Well, the great Sir Mo Farah has run here over a mile.
He has. I've just noticed him on the list.
Well, let's talk about the field though. Who's gone under 4 minutes in this field? So Eric Speakman has gone under.
George Beamish,
the NCAA champion, has gone under. Samuel Tanner's gone under, and Julian Oakley.
So there's 4 of them.
And they're doing a very interesting split start here, John. So given the size of the field, we're going to have some athletes come up, and so this is all completely legal and
absolutely.
measured out perfectly. So these athletes won't be running any extra distance. You see the yellow cones for the length of those yellow cones. They're going to run out in lane 5, and then they'll have the ability to break across in the back straight.
Around about at the 100 metres after they've finished 100.
Yep, correct.
So that's why, look, it's a fantastic field, and here we go. It's all on for the New Zealand Mile Championship.
And a few nervous athletes on the start line, but all of those nerves go away once you start running under 60 seconds a lap, and we've got an athlete who is jumping out to the front. That looks like the 800-metre specialist. Not surprised to see him jump out to the front.
Well, he wanted to make sure that the pace is fast, and so it's great to see the athletes taking it by the scruff of the neck right from the beginning, and they're not going to muck around tonight.
And then we see, following him, the big 4, Sam Tanner, Eric Speakman, George Beamish, and Julian Oakley.
Absolutely.
2, 3, 4, and 5, the sub-4-minute milers. Can there be another sub-4-minute miler? Ollie Chignall's putting his hand up. Liam Lamb from Wellington up there at the moment in 6th and 7th. Really surprised to see Ollie Chignall going with this early pace.
Yes.
Let's see what the first lap is. Here we go in 56, 57 for the first lap. We're on pace. And can I tell you, Sam Tanner is on form. He's run a 3:38 so far this year.
Well, and look, in Tauranga by himself. Then he won the New Zealand 3, so he's in great shape. So is
Eric Speakman. Eric Speakman won the Night of Miles with a great kick in the North Shore. So absolutely fantastic, and great to see James Preston, the 800-metre specialist, pushing out this pace, giving it depth. Really good to see. He's run a 3:46 1,500 metres, so it's not unfamiliar territory for him.
No, and it's quite a lot like a 4.3 mile, so he's not that far away from it. So he's going to give it a go as well.
We see, interestingly, Hayden Wild in the Whakatane uniform in about 7th or 8th there. Ollie Chignall hanging on to Julian Oakley. That field is strung out.
Strung out after 2 laps.
George Beamish needs to close that gap up to Speakman. You don't want to get dropped too early. And it looks like Sam Tanner's committed to this pace, and Sam Tanner at some stage is going to sweep past, and he's going to be out on his own. And that's where the big question mark lies. He's strong, he's fast, but can he string these guys out and win it without the tactics, just by gunning it and pinning his ears back?
Yes, look, I know all the reports I've read that he really wanted a fast pace. It's probably not as fast as he hoped.
Here's 1,000 metres in 2:28. So they have slowed a little through that 200-metre section, and Eric Speakman is right there. on his heels.
Yeah, so these two have broken away from the next bunch. So there's another bunch of three, and then another bunch, the main bunch behind them. So it's going to be down to these two for the last lap. It's
Ollie Chignell holding on to, and in fact passing Julian Oakley and going up to George Beamish, but Sam Tanner with 1 lap to go, 2:58. What can he do on this last lap? Can he get under 4? And if so, how far under can he go?
So it looks as though we hopefully will get 2.
It's come down.
4.
It's come down to these two athletes, John, with 300 to go. Very exciting stuff here. They're both looking relaxed.
Sam's going again. He's obviously going with 2:50 to go. Decided he's got to put the hammer down, and he is.
He's absolutely flying at the moment. The camera angle doesn't do it justice, but he is burning, and he's got a little gap.
Yeah.
He's got a little gap on Eric Speakman, and that gap is growing. Can Speakman pull him back in the last 100, John?
This is actually gone like the women's mile, really.
It actually,
and
very similar.
Very similar, and I think Samuel's got it. Can he break 4? And so can Eric.
Push, Sammy. You got this. Samuel Tanner from Athletics Tauranga.
It's a great time.
He's a fantastic athlete, and he's run a great time here. Eric Speakman will get under. George Beamish takes 3rd place. Ollie Chignell is going to be absolutely stoked with that 4th. And I think that is a big upset in 5th. Benjamin Wall from Palmerston North in 5th place. He's 19 if he's not 18, Benjamin Wall. So that's a fantastic race. Really impressive stuff from Samuel Tanner from Athletics Tauranga, coached by Craig Kirkwood. Craig Kirkwood, Commonwealth Games representative, but really making a name for himself as a coach.
So 2 national titles for Sam.
2 national titles in the space of a week. Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. So
a fantastic running as always here at the Cooks Classic, Pack and Save Cooks Classic here at Cooks Garden in Wanganui.
3:54.97.
So official time, the national mile champion, the first one since 1969. Dick Quacks is passing that mantle on. The time for Samuel Tanner, 3:54.97. 3:54.97. Eric Speakman in second, 3:56.66. George Beamish in third, 3:59.13. And Ollie Chignell, a 16-second PB, a sub-4 minute mile for Ollie Chignell, 3:59.77.
So
they're taking a bit of a walk, getting applause from the crowd. Call in Geordie Beamish. Fantastic stuff. It's been a great night here at the Cooks Classic in Cooks Garden.
4 sub-4 minute miles. Exactly. And so we've gone to 69.
69 sub-4 minute miles.
At Cooks Garden since 19... so fantastic.
Fantastic stuff here at the Cooks Classic. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us tonight. On behalf of myself, John Bowden, Rod Dixon and Zach Topping, we're very pleased to have brought this fantastic evening to you. Ka kite anō. We'll see you next time.
Good night.
Give me a minute to speak my truth. Explore the river and you'll find truth. Which path you take is up to you. Just bring your vision to life. Oh, give me a minute to speak this truth. You are the river and the river is you. Which path you